disrespectful and furious.
Swagalicious.
That was the
For
first
dear.
word of the session. Okay.
We are
Start.
live.
Yeah, we are live. Welcome back to Untitled 4, Run in the Dragon's Table TTRPG. So last time we got started, 4 travelers met on the road. Cassandra, Isidore, Maurice, and Clover. After walking a bit through the icy landscape, you discovered a pile of stuff by the side of the road, and a dead donkey, which disturbed some and completely unaffected others. After continuing along the road, you found the party to which the donkey hypothetically belonged to, which was a party of 4: Aphios, Conleth, Stathis, and Gracia. So 2 quote-unquote holy men, just some guy, and question mark? Gracia, you don't know a lot about Gracia yet. But apparently they are going to Siren's Rock to investigate what's going on there. They're professionals. With what? They have not elaborated at all. So maybe you will have the chance today to discover more. But after traveling along the road for a little bit in various levels of comfort, you guys discovered a little cave with which to spend the night because it's getting too dark for travel. And you started setting up your cave. So Cassandra and Conleth had a little conversation, just about Cassandra's history and what the hell's going on there. It appears to be a lot. Just a lot is going on there.
No, he's normal, I think.
He's normal. Isidore is having eyeball pain. She has a mysterious wound on the side of her head and seems to not want anyone to see it. What could that mean? Ooh. And then I believe we were going to check in and start with Maurice. Does that sound good? That's where we're starting? Okay. Did I update anything?
Hello.
I meant to do it at work today, and again I got distracted by drawing a funny little knight. No, I did
What
not do
happened?
anything.
What you do?
Any questions? Are we ready? I'm so sorry. I just got hit with the urge to piss. Give me 1 second. The soup is flowing through me.
Excellent. Good.
In the
Yes.
meantime, conspire. I'll be right back.
The soup escapes.
We're
Oh
in.
my god, that soup just shot through her like a fucking rocket. Oh my god.
As always, feel free to pester Cassandra as much or as little as you want.
Oh god.
Alright. Clover is not going near that man.
Meh.
Feel
I don't know what
feel
he's gonna do,
free
to
to
be
do a
honest.
perception check on Maurice Marjoram.
Me?
Oh?
Feel free at some point or another.
Just in general, anybody.
Just in general, there's an
know
aspect of his character that I don't think has been revealed on stream yet, but
You
it's
know
on
what?
his character.
When Sam gets back, I'll do that for you.
Hell yeah.
Cassandra's a people watcher.
Oh yeah.
I have no fucking idea what Clover's doing. Let's see. What the fuck was Clover doing last? It was before they arrived. She was helping Isidore, and I think that's the last thing.
And then
she did.
Clover was also getting close to Stathis as well.
Yes. Yeah, she was also chill with Stathis. Stathis has her at A rank. He's like, yeah, I fuck with her. A plus. Well, not A plus, but A. You know. Word. I was.
Fire Emblem Fates player. A plus. Fire Emblem Fates player spotted.
Okay. What? No, I just say A plus when something is good, and then I realized that the actual relationship chart uses A, B, and C, and so I was like,
Pen prompted a perception check for Maurice,
okay.
so I was gonna take it up on that.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, pointing at Pen. Get ready to tell me what Cassandra sees, if he sees anything.
Alright.
That is a 19.
You know what? I'll say he sees it. So as Maurice Marjoram is sort of, getting his bedroll out and so on, you've definitely noticed that Maurice Marjoram has worn heavy armor. That much is visible to anybody. However, there appears to be underneath the armor bandages. Around his arms, lower down on his neck. and like the bandages seem to be covering like a good amount of his body.
Okay.
And so he
Um,
seems to be hiding
mhm.
that as well. Interestingly.
Okay.
Can Clover do a
Um,
perception check too? Real quick.
Yeah, sure thing. Go right ahead.
Hello. Because she was chilling with him a bit.
Yep.
Okay. That is this. And then perception is. I need to remember where shit is again.
Take your time.
Was modifier. Yeah, that's a 33.
Damn.
Okay, so yeah. So Clover, like as you look over and you're noticing, like more about Maurice Marjoram, especially with his kind of alarming, behavior earlier, you're sort of keeping a close eye on him. And you notice the bandages, but you notice one of the bandages has moved askew enough for you to see underneath green feathers,
Oh,
like a bird growing
sus.
on Maurice Marjoram's neck.
Sus. All right. Well, okay. Yeah. Um, that's not enough information for me to be like, I'm gonna do a fucking science-y check. Like, it's just like glancing from afar. But, interesting. All right.
Yep.
Clover is learning the deets.
well, I guess he didn't see the feathers, but he did see your bandages. And
Yeah.
that makes two party members who are covered in strange bandages. Um so he will walk over to you with his sack full of shit. Um and he'll point towards them, like at them. Did you need those changed?
Maurice Marjoram, he looks up from where he's rolling out his little bedroll and he lets out a shocked little like a little trilling noise. And then he sort of his eyes kind of widen a little bit as he looks up at Cassandra and he's like, "No, I don't need them changed. Thank you very much for asking though.
Oh,
Are things
um,
going well with you?"
uh, I mean, I suppose so. I don't know why they wouldn't be. It's a lovely little ice cave we found ourselves in.
Very pretty rocks. I like the way the light hits them. And he's sort of like looking around and admiring the view a little bit.
Hmm. Yes, it is.
So
It's most divine.
I saw you were I saw you were speaking with Conleth earlier. Did you find out anything useful?
No, Mr. Conleth told me that he doesn't perhaps have information as much as we were looking for. I thought perhaps later I would go have a word with the other two members of this holy order. Perhaps they know who they're. Perhaps they know more. And I'm very
Perhaps.
interested in everything.
I suppose I am too. There's still a lot we don't know. And he says he's kind of scratching his chin a little bit. Kind of makes a bloke feel uneasy.
Uneasy? Whatever for? They've been
We don't
perfectly lovely.
They have, he says. Alfio seems a real well, he's like nodding. He's like trying to find the words for it as he sort of like tilts his head.
He's been quick on the draw.
He really has.
Mm-hmm.
There's kind of like a wee bit of a blush that sort of dusts across Maurice's face, but then it leaves as quickly as it came.
Mm.
And so he's kind of like, if you want to sit by the fire, you're free to do so, he says, like sort of
Oh,
gesturing to the fire.
did you make that with any sort of magic?
Maurice looks down at his hands and then shakes his head.
Oh, good, good. Magic can be quite dangerous if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I've never fooled around much with that kind of magic. I once
Mm.
knew a bloke out in the army that blew his hands clean off trying to cast a spell. Could never fool around with it after that.
Oh, I can imagine. You know, my messenger, he used magic and well, he taps the side of his face. I mean, I came out of it, of course. Just something you need to be careful with is all.
So your messenger did that to you,
Oh, yes. That's what
and
messengers do.
that's when you started hearing your god.
Mm-hmm. Quite the gift, really.
You could say that. He says, kind of, scratching his brow. He doesn't want to speak out against Cassandra or anything like that. There's a lot in this world that he still doesn't know much about. But he does kind of like, you could say that, you know. And then as this is going on, he also takes out a little sword with a purple pommel, upon which is tied a little charm of a sleeping baby bunny in a little sleep cap, peacefully asleep. And so he like sets the sword next to him, and he looks up at Cassandra and goes, "Do you have nightmares?"
Hmm. I suppose.
"If you need help sleeping soundly," and he points at the sword, "I use this to sleep nice like. Usually I just bop myself with the flat end real gentle like on one of my arms, and he gets me to sleep safe and sound."
Well, that's lovely. And thank you for the concern, but I'm not that worried about the nightmares. It lets me see people for what they are.
Fair point. It could help if you need to get to sleep nice without any nightmares, though. You're always welcome to use Throckmorton when you need him. And
Well,
he
the
pats the sword lovingly in such a way that implies that this sword is named Throckmorton.
mm-hmm.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
well, that's very useful and nice for you, but I wouldn't want to go a night without seeing the angels.
What do the angels look like?
Well, like angels, I suppose. Many wings, glowing eyes. It's not so literal. I just know they're angels. Perhaps you'll be an angel in my dreams.
Maurice Marjoram, like he kind of again he looks down at his hands and then he just kind of I don't think I'd be a very becoming looking angel, unfortunately. I'd be one of those
Oh,
chubby little dudes with the bow and the wings.
no, I'm sure you'd be a lovely angel. They're all beautiful.
Thank you, Cassandra. And he
Mhm.
smiles in such a way that implies that Cassandra has earned a little bit of goodwill with him with that comment. He doesn't get called, anything like that very often.
Well, if you need any bandages or see any angels, you know where to find me. And then he'll flitter back over to where he was sitting.
Got it. Let me think, is there anything else I want to do? I kind of want to have Maurice bother Alphios again, but I also don't want to be annoying, but also we have
Alphios
one
is still with Gracia inside her little tent thing. He's not currently available for conversation.
Got
Unless you
it,
want to go
good.
bother the tent, which you're totally allowed to try.
Oh, Maurice Marjoram looks slowly down at the sack of Friend and realizes he can do a naughty thing. But at the same time, he does not want to put his little friend Turgis in any sort of jeopardy.
Oh, you brought
Then again,
Turgis
if
to the wrong
Turgis
campaign!
at the same time, it is at that moment when he's thinking through the logistics of potentially sending Turgis to go spy on them that he realizes that even if Turgis saw anything, Turgis couldn't exactly convey it to him. So he's in the same spot he was in before.
Go, my spy. What did you see? He just looks up at you, completely uncomprehending.
So yeah, I think for now I'll probably pass the baton to Clover a little
All
bit.
right. Well, that's what Maurice is doing. What is Clover up to in this little cave?
Oh, hi. Yeah. Well, when they all kind of first arrive, um, so she probably would have liked to stick by Isidore, but Isidore walks off and obviously doesn't want to be bothered. So Clover, I think I stated last session, would have kind of looked at her walk off and been like, "Yeah, I'll leave her be." She's like, "I already, you know,
Mhm.
bothered her enough," and so she'd kind of let Isidore walk off, and like she wouldn't. She definitely kind of just mind her own business for a little bit, kind of obviously keeping distance from the NPC. She doesn't want to fuck with that. So she'd kind of be more observing than anything. Once Maurice started getting the fire going, she'd absolutely immediately go over there because baby cold. She would go over there. And I did have a question last that in terms of like inventory, like is having like a fucking blanket in her bag, does that count as something I had to have in her inventory, or is that just a
No,
thing?
you just have it in her non-combat inventory. It's fine.
Okay, because I feel like she, again, like her husband was a traveler, so I feel like she would have come at least, decently prepared as much as she can carry, at least, So, okay. So once the fire was kind of like getting situated, she'd be kind of minding her own business, and since she knew where it was located, she'd start settling in a little bit, find the best rocky floor that she can find that hopefully isn't too damp, and take out whatever sort of bedding she brought, probably just some sort of soft rolled up blanket of some sort. It would probably be a pretty have some embellishments on it, just some like flower embroidery on the edges, something cute, something sweet.
Yeah.
Something that's gonna get filthy and waste the prettiness. But so she'd kind of roll on that, and she'd just put her bag down and probably take out like a little sort of booklet that she just kind of uses to doodle in. It's nothing nothing prominent, just a little plant sketchbook, some study field shit she does, whatever. Nothing important really, but just something that she'd kind of settle in and flip through the pages, just trying to take her mind off of everything that's going on. But she would mostly keep to herself initially, because the one person she's most comfortable with would be preoccupied, and most of the people she wants to avoid, and Maurice is busy setting up the fire at the time. But she would kind of be observing, seeing Cassandra flitter around talking to everybody, and just what everyone's doing. Alphao's going in the tent. She would be taking in her surroundings and seeing what everyone's up to.
Do you want to make a perception check real quick?
Sure. Let me get my fucking arm working. Okay. Right. 25.
All right. Yeah, you notice. As you're like looking around the room, observing, as you're flipping through your book, you observe that Stathis is kind of leaning over from where his little ramshackled bedding is, to like peek over your shoulder, like, what are you doing? He wants to know what's in your book.
Oh, baby. She would probably I can imagine at this point Cassandra and Maurice would be chatting, and Clover would have probably kind of noticed those feathers poking out from Maurice, and she would have kind of been wondering, like, what the hell? But then, she gets distracted by noticing man.
He's like
she
still
would kind
a
of
good couple feet away from you, but he's like
but
craning
she would,
his
well,
neck,
she'd
like,
notice
"Ooh,
him.
what are you doing?"
Yeah, she'd notice like he's looking at her. She'd be like, "Oh, I am being looked at," and she'd kind of look over at him, and because Maurice is talking to Cassandra, so she's not gonna go and interrupt that, especially not with Cassandra involved. She is afraid of that man. I'm sorry, Cassandra. She's afraid of everyone. It's fine. But so she kind of look over at Stathis, and he said he's like kind of visibly as though he's trying to look at whatever she's doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. She'd kind of give him since she's had a chance to relax, she isn't like quite as on edge as she was before, especially after her interaction with Isidore before they showed up. So she's a little more relaxed, so she'd kind of give him a bit of a smile and, oh, you're moving shit.
Sorry, I'm organizing.
She'd give him a bit of a smile and Hang on, I need to get into her fucking mind. Words. What words would she use? I need to get out of my fucking fancy ass English man head. But yeah, she gotta look over and give him a smile and just be like, you could ask to see it, you know?
Oh, I didn't want to be a bother. I just thought it was awful smart of you to bring entertainment. I didn't think to bring anything like that.
She'd kind of like, kind of shift her position as though he's like, invited to come over if he wants to. And she just kind of looked down at the book, and
He
she probably,
shuffles on up. He like scuttles on
shuffles on up,
on all fours, like.
shuffling over, fucking creature.
Beast.
But yeah, so she'd probably have some sort of writing utensil, whatever pencil of some sort. And she'd kind of look down at the little booklet she has. There'd be if he takes a look at whatever random page she flipped to, probably whatever sketch she was working on, he'd see it was like a lot of nature drawings, just some of them more detailed of like studying, clearly studying the plants, and others is just like general nature and stuff. And she'd kind of look down and with a smile and just be like, oh well, my husband said to always be prepared, so I figured this counted as that. And she kind of
yeah, it's awful pretty.
Oh, and she just go like, "Oh, thank you. I get a lot of practice." And she just kind of look up at the crystals in front of them and just be like, "I don't usually draw this type of thing, though."
Oh, like rocks and whatnot?
Yeah, I've never really been in this type of area. I'm more from a wooded area. A lot of plants, a lot of nature, a lot of animals. And she just kind of flip to another page, an empty page, and just be like, but I guess there's no better time than now. And then she'd just kind of look over at his whole, like, ramshackle setup, and she'd just be like, you really didn't bring anything else to do with your time?
No. Well, I wasn't expecting to be slowed down on the road, so I thought I'd be there by now. Which is fine. I slept on the ground before.
She'd be like, oh, yeah, yeah. But that's not what she says. That's me not thinking right.
Yeah,
She's just
that
like,
would
yeah,
happen
man.
to you.
Yeah, you're a dumbass. It's so hard getting back into her head. Sorry.
It's okay.
And
Do what you gotta do.
so does he have like what's his setup look like? Like what's he got?
He's got his cloak, which is on the ground, and then like
I think
his
you
little
described it last time, I
vest
forget.
that he's got. He's taken off and balled it up into a pillow.
Genius.
He's also taken his boots off. Cozy.
What?
He took his boots off too. Cozy.
Oh my god. Bro, is it the ground wet?
Yeah.
Like
Thumbs up.
Follow
so
he just has socks on right now. So he just has socks.
Yeah, he's got socks,
in a
he's got
wet,
his pants, he's got his
cave.
shirt.
In a wet, cold cave. Okay.
And he's took his little tool belt off too.
Okay, so yeah, so Clover doesn't have really anything else to offer him to help, unfortunately. She only brought enough for herself. Because she started off on this journey on her own. But she would kind of notice the fact that he has no shoes on. And she just kind of glanced down and glanced back up and be like, "Aren't you cold?"
Only a little. I'm from around here, so this isn't nothing compared to, dead of winter. I've been outside and less.
She would just kind of. How far is his setup from the fire?
I'm gonna say it's like a comfortable distance from the fire. Like he's definitely still like in the circle of talking around the fire, but he's not like in the fire.
Okay. But yeah, she kind of look at him and look down at her book and be like, "Well, I can give you a spare piece of paper if you want to do anything with that.
Oh, if you have some to spare, it's
Oh,
alright
I
if you
have more than
don't.
enough. I have more than enough. This, you know, I have so many of these back at home, so I can always just use a new one when I get there.
Hmm.
And she'd kind of and she'd kind of just flip to another page and very gently tear it out pretty neatly. She's obviously done it before.
Mhm.
Um, but and kind of rifle through the side pocket of her bag to grab some other writing utensil and be like, "Have you done any art before?"
Oh, I've well, I'm not much of an artist exactly, but I've done folding, folded up into little shapes.
She'd look pretty interested in that and be like, oh, can you show me?"
I can try. He says nervously, holding a
Dude,
piece of paper. He wasn't expecting to have to do this in front of people today.
in front of people.
Yeah, hold on.
Clover's
He's gonna make an artistry check. Oh, he killed it.
okay.
He killed it. All right, that's a
Killed it in
23.
a good way or a bad way?
He got a 23.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he thinks for a minute, and then he folds up the little piece of paper, and as you look at it, you can see that it's a tiny, very stout wyvern. Says, like that.
Oh, that's cute. Clover would look very intently. She would watch him do it, and she'd be enjoying this bit of normalcy. Honestly, like she'd still have that fucking feathers growing out of Maurice in the the back of her mind, or some, or whatever,
Mhm.
growing. I guess she doesn't know if they're growing out of him, just that they are there under his
Mhm.
bandages. Um, and so she would have that in the back of her mind, but she'd kind of be enjoying this, just like escaping this hellscape that she has found herself in. Um,
Mhm.
and she'd just like kind of get visibly excited and just be like, "Oh, can you show me how?"
Oh yeah, sure. And he kind of like motions for more paper.
Oh, she would give him some more blank piece pip. She would hand over another blank piece and kind of rip one out herself as well.
Okay.
Um,
Do you want to make an artistry check to follow
I
along with
sure
him?
do. I sure do.
He got a
It would
19
be really
again,
funny
so
if
he
you.
doesn't
It would
nearly
be
as
so
perfectly.
funny.
You
It would-
fuck
oh
it
my
up.
god.
Did you fuck it up?
Okay, wait. I
Oh.
might be fucking it up. That is so funny. Where the fuck? Where's that? Where's that? She's Clover, my baby, my baby girl. She got a 4.
Oh no. Yeah, I mean you get like the main body part, that's fine. He just folds it in half and then he folds it another way. As soon as he starts doing wings and claws and shit, you're like, what the fuck is happening? And you end up with a crumpled piece of paper. He looks at it, he says, I mean, it's not exactly the best paper for this. Well, I got 2 now, so here, you take one of mine. He hands you the one he made.
She would honestly she wouldn't be too disappointed in her failure. She'd kind of be amused, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
Again, baby girl's just enjoying some normalcy in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd go like, oh, thank you. I'll try to keep it safe. And
Oh,
she'd
you can
kind of
do
look
whatever
at
you
it.
want with it. Back in my village, we make them much bigger and then we pelt each other with them.
You what?
You throw them at each other. You see, they got the wings. They go if they're big.
She this man Clover doesn't even know how to respond.
It's a game. You stand far apart, and you each got one, and whoever hits, first wins.
She just go like, oh, well, I'm sure you can show me when we get there. It sounds like it could be fun.
Yeah. You just gotta watch your eyes.
Oh, yeah, that could
Well, they
be
got
a
a
bit
little pointy
dangerous,
little
huh?
snoop.
Yeah, she'd kind of look down at the little details. She would go like, do the children play?
Oh, yeah, of course it's a children's game. It's been a long time since I've played something like this myself. Too busy.
She'd just be like, oh, well, I'm sure it's fine. And she'd kind of be she'd kind of be like mulling over how it, because she really would like the little thing, but she'd be like, how do I keep this from just getting destroyed in my bag?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you
Um,
can write down tiny paper wyvern in your non-combat
Any
inventory.
paper, but this is the most important item in her inventory.
It's like, to me, it's like a paper. It's more of a paper airplane than like a paper crane, but it's like it's got
Yeah.
like details to it.
Oh,
got, like, a little head.
Wyverns.
Where did my thing go? I somehow Why can't I type? Hello? There we go. I accidentally deleted the berries from her inventory. Hang on.
While you're figuring out where to put your tiny paper wyvern in your bag, Sath is gonna idly kind of shoot it like a tiny paper airplane. Unfortunately, in the direction of the fire. It doesn't go in, but he scrambles forward to go get it before it catches on fire and then returns, looking slightly frazzled.
Oh my god. I guess I'll just do it this way. That, you know what? That would get a small laugh out of Clover. Maybe
I didn't mean to do that. I wasn't thinking.
She would definitely. His reaction to it would get more laughter from her, and she'd just be like, I don't even know. I don't know what she'd say. She'd just be laughing at his plight. And just be like, do you win very often in the game?
Oh, sometimes. I mean, I can make him fine. Not very good at dodging him.
She'd kind of just be like, well, I guess we'll have to see which one of us is better when we get there.
Oh, I mean, probably you. You're a smaller target and all.
she just laughs a little lightly again, and in her delight of the normalcy, in the back of her mind, she's kind of like a little bit of just the reality of everything is creeping in again. Just
Mm-hmm.
After watching him run over to the fire, kind of pulling her out of the paper paper thing she was holding.
Mm-hmm.
So she'd kind of get dragged back to where they are, and remembering they are not in a quaint little safety of town just yet, that she hopes that they will be soon. And her little laughter and her smile would kind of fade a little bit, and she'd kind of think about that book that she has in her bag, and just everything going on, and she'd kind of glance back over at Maurice, who I don't know if he'd still be talking to Cassandra. They didn't talk that long, question mark.
I think they're done.
Yeah, I think he'd be free at this
Yeah.
point.
But she'd kind of glance over, and would Stathis follow her gaze?
Sure, he can.
Question
He
mark?
sees your attention is turned. He'll look over.
Yeah. Does he want to perceive?
Oh, hell yeah, he'll perceive.
Maurice! Perceive Maurice!
Perceive very smart.
I would love to
Not that
perceive
the-
Maurice. Yeah, I got a not natural 1. He doesn't see shit.
I was gonna say
he's planning his game.
He's too busy thinking about games. He's thinking about strategy plans.
A gamer.
I like to imagine he looks up and he sees Maurice Marjoram like a stick figure doodle kind of thing, like a hyper
Do not
simplified.
perceive the man.
Barely perceived.
But that's so funny. But so Clover would just kind of start to get grounded back into the moment and just be like, everyone here is kind of different than us, aren't they?
Oh, how do you mean?
Well, they all seem to have, how do I put this? And she's just she's trying not to sound rude again, because she generally isn't a rude lady, but there's a lot going on in her life right now.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd just be like, they all seem to have a lot more experiences than us.
I mean, yeah, I'd agree with that. They seem to have traveled much farther than me, at least. And well, they're I haven't met their lady yet, so I assume she's awfully secretive for a good reason. But it's not like anybody here's mean so far.
Clover would just be like, I guess. But she'd kind of look away a little bit and be like, why do you think they turned you away from the town?
Well, they said it was dangerous. So, well, I don't know exactly what happened, but apparently people are missing. They were kind of vague. They said they'd explain more once we settle down for the night. Um, so I guess before we go to sleep, we're gonna get a good talking to.
She'd kind of like look a little concerned at the whole disappearing thing, and just be like, without a trace.
I don't know. They just said disappeared. I mean, well, I guess people go missing all the time, but I guess specialists don't come in unless it's something serious, huh? He thinks they're from the FBI. Dude, they called the X-Files on us.
The cops are here. I am trying to. This is for me to remember. Clover would have remembered her on her own because I'm a dumbass and it's been a week. He said that his girlfriend was from.
Yes, his
we're
girlfriend
going,
lives in
Sirens Rock.
Okay, yes. So Clover would kind of hesitate a moment before just being like, "Aren't you worried
about the town? I mean, a little.
about your girlfriend?"
I mean, I suppose a little bit, but she's awful resourceful. So I'm sure if anything bad's happened, well, she's probably handling it.
Okay, well, I'm sure she's fine.
Yeah, she's a traveler like me, so she knows how to get up and get out.
Oh, that would get her attention a little bit, and she'd kind of look at him and be like, "Do you travel together?"
No, not really. I make the
Why not?
carts and she drives the carts, so we both got stuff going on. She's a merchant.
Oh. Clover would just kind of nod and be like, don't you wish you could go with her?"
I mean a bit, I guess. Like, well, I've got my shop back at my town, and well, she visits whenever she comes through, and I come see her every once in a while. So it's not that bad. I've never really been far outside of town before, aside from the neighboring towns. So I don't know.
I love that. I don't know. Clover would kind of like smile a little bit, but it wouldn't really be the same like, oh, happy smiles. It would be more of like a kind of melancholy look and just be like, sounds familiar.
Oh, um, are you the traveler in the situation, or are you the homebody?
The man. This is not the smartest man in the world.
He's got a wisdom of 6.
Oh my god! God, that's so fucking funny. What is fucking Clover's wisdom? Clover's wisdom is 40.
You've located the second stupidest man in the room. The first is Conleth, who has a wisdom of 1.
Why is the boy so stupid?
Isn't he like a priest?
Some priests are stupid. He's got book smarts, not street smarts.
I see.
But Clover would kind of be a little, surprised that he can't tell. So she'd get like a small like the only thing I can describe it as is a laugh, but it's more like a breath out, that kind of like that kind of thing where it's like, and she'd just be like, "No, I never really went very far from home." And she'd just kind of look at the crystal formations, and she'd just be like, "My husband's always been the one that leaves the house, and it takes him a while to come back home."
Oh, yeah, you mentioned he was in Siren's Rock. Well, I'm sure he's fine too if he's the traveler between you. He's probably, helping out already, whatever's going on over there. Maybe that's why he didn't come home yet. He's too busy helping.
Clover would just she still just have this like melancholy look on her face and just be like, "Maybe it's never taken him this long before, and I'm he could be fine. He knows what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
And that sounds more like she's talking to herself when she says that, but
He's
she
gonna
says it
like
out
reach
loud.
over and like pat her on the shoulder, like comfortingly, like, yeah, I'm sure he does.
Like, I know this man. But she would appreciate that. But she just kind of did something weird. She'd appreciate that and just be like, well, he'll sure be able to help us. He'll be able to help me get home safely when we get there. But if he's helping, then I guess he wouldn't be able to come home just yet. And she's obviously kind of lost in her own mind at this point, like mostly kind of just baby is thinking of her lost love. She is longing.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have Stathis make a conviction check. Yeah, he's gonna pelt you with his little paper wyvern.
Wait, what did he roll and what did he check for?
He had a conviction check. His convictions say don't pelt sad women with wyverns, and he failed that check. Wake up.
I fucking love him. Wake up, bitch!
It hits you squarely in the forehead.
Oh my god. That would snap her out of it. But you know what? It would be a positive reaction.
You are thinking loud enough for me to hear.
She just
And then he reaches over and he takes the little wyvern back.
When she gets smacked, she definitely go, oh! Like, was not expecting that. And she'd just be like, oh, I'm sorry. I get a habit of doing that, being alone a lot. And she'd kind of just look at him and be like, and I have grown pretty tired from our travels.
Ah, yeah, well, good thing we're all settled for the night then.
Would the fire be up and going at this point? I would
Yeah.
assume so.
For sure.
Because when she first settled down, he was making the fire.
Mm-hmm.
But she'd kind of like, she'd think for a moment, and she'd be like deciding, and I almost want to make my own dice roll to see if she wants to be stupid. Hang on. This isn't like even a specific roll. I'm just like, let me see.
The vibes roll.
This is a dice roll regarding like just myself and the decision I make. She didn't roll very high. Okay. She kind of hesitated. The thing I was deciding is if she's like, she's feeling bad about keeping the secrets from the group with the book in her bag, and she was deciding. She's like, Stathis seems like a good guy. She's like, should I tell him? And then she's like, but considering her wisdom stat, I suppose she would decide against.
You're welcome to
Feel like
tell him or not.
Yeah, I don't. She definitely kind of consider it, but she'd decide against it, and she'd just be like, but she would still be thinking about them feathers she saw on Maurice, and I think Clover's gonna ditch Stathis for a little bit.
Okay. He
Sorry,
will
man.
he'll take his little paper wyvern back and flip around so that his feet are facing the fire and just lay down on his back. He's still
Good man.
awake. He's like,
Yeah.
feet.
She would have been polite about it, and she'd just be like, before he went and took the headed on his own way, she would have been polite, just be like, I'm sorry, there's something I need to do, that type of thing. But
hold on, before you do it, I have to piss again
Yes.
because the soup.
Oh my god, girl!
I had a lot of soup.
Okay. She is full of soup.
The soup is weighing her down.
God, I'm just like, Clover and Stathis are just like the fucking like, they're just like talking about playing games and stuff while everyone is like, so what's your traumatic backstory? They're just vibing, man. And I am like trying so hard to keep her responses interesting.
I'm having that issue with Maurice Marjoram too. I'm afraid.
I think you're both succeeding handily.
Thank you. I'm
Thank
like,
you.
oh man, I'm over here like sending like fucking 5-paragraph like lore backstory updates about my other character and my server, like detailed like deep descriptions, and then I come in here like she stares into the distance longingly. Like, I don't know what the fuck to say.
This is my first campaign ever where I'm playing a character like this who is a few crayons short of a crayon box. Like I really normally don't play characters like this at all. So this is like new territory for me of having to make Maurice Marjoram. Like I have to deliberately slow him down a few
I
steps than
love
like
him.
I the player would think. It's kind of
It's
fascinating.
I see. My issue is let's see. This is maybe the third. Well, counting. This is like the third campaign I've ever been a part of, and one of those quote unquote campaigns wasn't really a campaign because I went to one local D&D meetup once, and the vibes were rancid because it was supposed to be 18 plus, and there were kids there, which I hated,
Oh,
and there was obviously tension among the group to begin with, and they were like, "Oh, you could join our Facebook chat to know," and I was like, you know, I'm good.
good,
Uh,
thanks.
so I wasn't really part of the campaign, and more I went for one session, and then I never went again. And other than that, it was the one that I did with you, Sam, like
Swag.
a few years ago
Yeah,
with Pine.
that was
Uh,
literally like 5 years ago. That's
yeah.
crazy.
So that is the extent of my tabletop RPG experience. So that is why I am not great at this.
No, you're good. You're doing good. You're doing
I'm trying
fine.
my best.
Sorry, I had a revelation
Um,
on the toilet that
oh,
Alphios and Amalthea from my other campaign are the same age. They're born the same year. This just takes place in the future.
holy fuck.
They're
Oh,
so
that's
Um,
evil.
deeply fucked up. He's
Fucked
out there somewhere,
um,
learning to drive. He's getting his permit.
oh my god. But okay, everyone's back. So we're good to
Continue.
continue. All right. So yeah, so Clover wouldn't be able to get what she saw with Maurice out of her mind. Cuz you know, she's generally like, you know, she's a sweet girl, but she's a very curious girl as well. She likes knowledge, as we know by her wisdom stat. And she would not be able to like get past, you know, like throughout her interaction with Stathis, you know, for a little bit again, she kind of like got lost in the moment and was like, "Oh, everything's fine," and then she's like, "Wait, nothing is fine. Never mind," you know. So she would, I assume Cassandra Maurice is done. I think we already said that. So now that she sees that Maurice is, I guess, on his own at this point, you know, just maybe poking the fire or whatever, she would hesitate, but then she'd, you know, close her book and put the the dragon plane that Stathis gave her. She'd do something her best to keep it safe. Is it the type of folding thing that could like cleanly fold flat and then pop back up? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so she would fold it flat and kind of put it in her book to keep it safe, and she would slip that back into her bag, and she would take her bag with her, which is a important factor considering what is inside of it. So so she'd leave the rest of her stuff, but she'd take her bag with her, and she'd walk on over to Maurice, and yeah, she'd go over and just be like, you know, she'd greet him, she'd head on over to him.
So
I
yeah,
don't know, whatever he's up to.
Yeah, Maurice Marjoram, I think at this point he's probably, yeah, poking the fire a little bit. And then he hears the footsteps and he sort of like pivots his, you know, upper half, you know, turns it towards Clover and sort of like single blink of the eyelids. Oh, Clover, what's going on?
Before she continues, could I make a second perception check now that she's specifically kind of seeing, as she approached him, she would have kind of glanced up and down to see if she saw the feathers again, or if they were fixed, or if there's any other, you know, spots showing.
Yeah,
Could I roll
yeah,
for that?
yeah, she could totally do that.
Because since she's being more aware and she's kind of has an eye out for it. Let's see. Whatever. 24.
So yeah, she would definitely as he turns around, she can see like one of the bandages on the arm is kind of tilts a little bit askew without his knowing, and she can also see there the green feathers.
All right, and where, I don't know if it was specified what part of the body it was before that she saw.
Yeah, it's like it's on his neck, it's on his like arms, like all
No,
the parts.
the one that the part she saw earlier. You
Yeah, the
you
part
said
she
there was
saw earlier
bandages.
was like back of the neck kind of thing.
Okay, so now she knows it's on the neck and the arms. Okay.
Yes.
So she would notice that, and she kind of, and he asked what's up, right?
So
He,
just
he
like
was like,
she asks like what's up with the feathers.
No, he asked her, like,
Yeah,
how did he
yeah,
greet her again?
yeah, something along the lines of like what's going on, you know.
Yeah. She'd kind of hesitate. She'd be like gripping the strap of her bag a bit, like looking a little nervous. If he takes notice of that, which I'll just say that he does, because it is not hidden at all.
Yeah, yeah,
She-
he does.
yeah. So she would be visibly nervous, and she'd just be like, um, "Can I ask you something?"
Go right ahead.
She'd kind of like inch a bit closer, because considering there's bandages attempting to cover these things, she would kind of assume that he'd prefer it not be known. But she knows now, and she cannot forget about it. And but there isn't enough information, for me to say, oh, she can glean that XYZ, whatever. I'm not even gonna roll for like a check for
Yeah.
bestiary or whatever. So I'm just gonna leave that for now, and I'm just gonna be like, she'd kind of step closer, and she'd be pretty quiet in her talking to try to make sure nobody else hears, which everyone else is busy, but I don't know if anyone else wants to try to eavesdrop. But and she would kind of ask him, and she'd just be like, under your bandages, are those feathers?
Maurice Marjoram pauses, and then he looks down at his arm, and he makes a little oh, and then sort of like tries to cover it a little bit, but then he looks up, he kind of another blink of the eyes, and then his shoulders slump a little, and he nods, and he goes, "Well, back when I was in the army, we had a few mages that worked for us, and one of them, he kind of went a little body in the head. He read some things he shouldn't have. And then he started trying to turn people into animals. And unfortunately, he tried to hit one of my. He pauses. It's like he wants to say friends, but he knows they didn't really see him as a friend.
Oh, baby man.
He saw them as a friend. They did not see him as a friend. So one of my fellow soldiers, I took a hit for him, and that's how I grew feathers. And sometimes I make little bird noises. And monsters like to get at me because of the feathers. So I try and cover them up so that I'm not drawing monsters to us all the time. He,
Um,
s- he sort of nods
uh,
his head.
Baby. Um, what? This is a question for you. What the feathers, are they like tattered? Are they pretty clean and shiny? Like, what do they look like?
They're pretty clean and tattered. They're kakapo bird feathers. If you know what a
Cockapoo
Can you
kakapo,
post bird?
Because a cockapoo.
a kakapo, it's a parrot that's like green and its like feathers look kind of mossy and it's a flightless parrot. It's the most delightful looking bird I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
Hold on, let me look this up.
Yeah,
Please.
I was about to do that too. Hang on.
No, I'm getting the dog. Cockapoo. No.
It's like K
Oh, okay.
K-A-K-A-P-O.
Oh, I know those. Okay, I forgot the name of them. Okay. Oh,
Oh,
I love it.
yes.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
him. That's my friend.
Beautiful looking man.
Here it is for those curious. There's
baby.
live feed of Clover and
That, that is an avocado.
they're so much bigger than I thought they were. That's like a
Yeah, I'm gonna be,
football.
yeah.
They're
my God.
big round units, and I'm like, yeah, that's
Um,
Maurice.
Large motherfucker.
But okay, well, Clover just she loves birds, so she'd kind of be like, oh well, like she was not expecting that response, and she'd be like, could I take a closer look?
Maurice Marjoram, he pauses for a second, but then he nods and he sort of like pulls aside some of the bandages and she can see in more detail these sort of like cool.
Before he does that, she would kind of, she would jump in before he like when he moves to pull him aside, she just go like, oh, um, uh, maybe we should go somewhere more private first.
Maurice pauses and looks around at the others and then sort of, shields his feathers and then nods. Lead the way.
um, so yeah, so they I guess they would move, you know, a little further away from the others. Probably not as deep in as Isidore, but
Yeah.
somewhere, else. TM. And then she'd kind of like pause and nod at him, purposely probably standing in such a way that she would be in front of him if anybody like looked over from the fire. She like her back would be to them. She's smart enough. She would kind of position them strategically
So then,
if anyone
yeah,
did.
Maurice Marjoram, he gets into position. At this point, Turgis has skittered out of his little bag of friend and is sitting on Maurice Marjoram's shoulder. As Maurice sort of like unwraps these bandages and shows off these like, sort of green and, black, really cool, nice round little feathers that seem, again, very soft, very well maintained, and Turgis, like the helpful little familiar that he is, goes over to like he runs down towards one of the feathers that is askew and sort of like pulls it out and is like grooming Maurice Marjorie with his little
Baby.
spud mouth.
Dude, you
As
have a
adorable as
parasite.
Like a little parasite.
As adorable as Turgis is, Clover would kind of have her focus set right now. So, she would kind of take a look and she'd kind of lift her hand a bit from her bag and then hesitate and just be like, "Would you mind?" Like kind of like reaching her hands out a bit to wanting to kind of feel the feathers a bit and stuff.
I don't mind, Maurice Marjoram says, and he smiles this like uncharacteristically really gentle grin. Again, this is not a man who has acts of friendship done towards him very often. And it's
Aw.
very touching to him that somebody
Aw.
cares about him enough to do something like this. So he
Aw.
does indeed let you pet the feathers.
Aw. So Clover would reach out and kind of, take his arm in one hand and kind of examine the feathers with another. And I want to do a roll. I kind of almost want to do 2 rolls.
Good.
Because he said he was hit by magic that caused this to happen. Um, I want to, I want to do 1 roll to see if she can recognize what kind of bird the feathers are kind
That'd
of
be bestiary.
from. Yeah. Oh, she got a nat 20 on that one.
Nice.
Yeah,
you've seen
I was gonna
this
be so
fucking
sad if
thing.
she rolled low because that's like one of her specialties. Okay, so she definitely can tell that it's kakapo feathers. So she would notice that, but I also want to do a roll to see if she can like possibly have any sort of recognition of what type of like spell it was, like what the person was using or whatever, shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just because she, curious maybe. Oh my god, you bitch! She rolled a natural 1.
She doesn't know shit.
Oh my god, what? She's rolls a nat 20 on what kind of bird and a nat 1 on.
Well, I know
why.
exactly what type of bird it is, but how the fuck it happened? Oh.
So she just kind of take a look and like her expression would have gone from like neutral and curious to kind of like a slight frown, and she'd be like, "Well, they're very pretty, but I don't know what kind of spell caused this."
Maurice Marjoram looks down at the feathers and he's like, he nods. I've had a few people say that. I think I'd be fine with them gone. But also, if I had to live with this for the rest of my life, I guess I'd be fine with that too.
Um, she'd kind of pause and she'd be like, "Well, I didn't really bring any of my books with me, but maybe when all this is done, I could try to research it a bit for you."
Maurice Marjoram, again, he's like, he gives his smile that he's had on for, like this whole time, grows a little bit wider, and for a second, he suddenly seems 10 years younger.
No. Whoa, baby.
I'd like that a lot, friend.
Not baby! Uh, she would be kind of touched at the at him calling her friend, and so that would get a bit of a smile out of her and just be like, of course. And she'd kind of look at the bandages a bit and be like, well, I think they're nice enough, but do you want me to help you maybe wrap them a bit better? Because
Marie,
I saw them pretty easily.
Maurice Marjoram nods a little bit. That would
Alright.
I would like that a lot. Sometimes I have a
Alright.
little shake in my hands from, the war and all that. So
The war.
war.
Oh, that was so loud. Who was that? Hang on. I need to lower someone's volume.
Annika jump
Okay,
scared.
that's-
Oh,
like-
Yeah.
sorry. Was I
I like-
suddenly
No, it was-
really loud for some reason?
No, it
Yeah,
was my
like
fault.
It was a quick.
I think it was because last time you were pretty quiet, so I had your volume at like 200%.
Oh.
So that was my own fault.
Beast of West.
Anyway,
It's okay. The quick
what-
Fergus.
what would I roll for that? Would that be medicine? Even though it's not wounds, it's still bandage wrapping. Question mark.
Sam.
Hello.
Oh, sorry. What was the question? I thought you were asking. the other person.
She's gonna she wants to rewrap the bandages around Maurice to
Yeah,
try to do a
medicine
better
check.
job of
Medicine
it.
check.
Medicine check. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm still so pissed that she rolled a nat 1 on that magic thing. Oh my god, what the? Her rolls are. No, oh my god. Okay, well at least she's like really good with this in this field. We got this. All right. 24.
24. Yeah, you managed to perfectly rewrap them.
All right. Well, there you go. There you go, Maurice. They are very well wrapped now. she would have gotten pretty focused in making sure to like overlap them properly, not make them too tight. You know, she'd obviously know what she was doing. Like she has done this before. And you know, it's yeah, she would know what she was doing. The way that she was kind of holding his arm and and the way she maneuvered, it would be very clear that she has experience with this.
Thanks so kindly. Thank you, Sai. And he sort of like bows his head a little bit and gives a little thumbs up to you.
Thumbs up. She'd just smile at him a bit and just be like, "You can always ask if you need it rewrapped again."
I'll be sure to if I need. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And
good.
so then I'm guessing they make their way towards the party again.
Yeah, that's what I would assume.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where she would be done unless anyone wants to come to her, I guess.
Well, there'll
And
be
if not,
plenty
then
of
I'm done.
opportunity to talk interpersonally because
Hell yeah.
Conleth is going to first of all, he's gonna notice everyone's kind of like convening around the fire at this point because A, it's cold. B, it's dark. C, well, there's people and you can either be alone or you can be with the people. And he notices like, okay, he's hearing a lot of people shuffling. And then he kind of like spins around. He finds Cassander. Because Cassander is
Near him.
near him and also the object of his focus right now. He says,
Yeah.
Did somebody wander down into the cave?
Oh. Yes. I believe that was Isidore. I saw where she went. I talked to her. Do you want to go get her?
A little.
I already Isidore already returned and is now asleep on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember. She's snoring really loudly.
Okay.
Alright.
All right.
Well then,
He didn't see
Isidore
you come
passes
back.
out mid-cave.
well,
No.
Cassandra will then look around and go, "Oh, never mind. She's sleeping."
Oh. Well, I kind of was hoping she could hear this, but all right. How angry do you think she'll be if we nudge her awake?
I'm gonna
How-
have Cassandra make a wisdom check.
Annika, you're
I'll
gonna
have,
answer
you know,
that.
you know, Annika,
I would-
I'm gonna have her make an insight check on Isidore, and depending on my roll here, you can tell me how pissed she would be. Okay, so that is now it's kind of a shitty roll, but he is proficient, so that's a 15. How pissed would she be if Cassandra woke her up?
Initially pretty annoyed, but if given an explanation as to why.
Okay. He
I was
will
gonna ask it. Oh,
go on.
I was gonna ask. You said like everyone's pretty gathered around the fire now, right?
Yeah, except for
Um,
Gracia,
could-
who's in her thing, and
yeah.
Alphaios, who is with her.
Yeah. So could I see if Clover could have overheard them talking?
Oh, yeah, sure. Make a perception check. They're not away from the fire. They're like right there.
Yeah, that's why I figured I could maybe hop in. We're doing perception, right?
Yep.
31.
Yep, you hear them. You hear them
Okay.
talking to each other about where Isidore could be, and then point out, oh, never mind, she's right there.
Did she hear the part where they're like deciding if they want to wake
Yeah,
her
well,
up?
Cassandra's walked over and is about to wake her up.
You
Okay,
just observed that one.
Okay, so Clover, being you know, as she is, she would kind of remember her interaction with Isidore and how she's not very fond of these quote unquote holy men. So Clover would kind of rush on over, and despite her her unsureness of Cassandra, she'd kind of go over and just like kind of quietly be like, "Oh, wait.
What?
What? Oh, what?"
Yeah. He just kind of he's like holding his staff, like ready to poke her, and then he's like
Oh,
kind of just
God.
like holding it mid poke, and he looks at her like, "What? Yes."
Clover would just kind of like quietly step next to him and just be like, maybe I should do it.
Ooh. Okay, I don't really care. And then he takes a step back.
Love him. Bastard, man.
Wash his hands of it.
Okay, and with that, she would kind of pause and let Cassandra kind of head take a step back or walk off or whatever he
Yeah,
was
he
doing.
just
I couldn't
goes
really
back
hear.
over by Conleth.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought you said. Okay, yeah, so she'd gotta wait for that to happen before kind of kneeling down a bit and just like kind of deciding how to go about this. And at first she'd just kind of say Isidore's name kind of gently, trying to just wake her up, being like, Isidore?
The moment
Isidore. She'd pronounce it correctly.
the moment that Isidore's name is spoken, her visible eye like flies open, and she like sits near bolt upright and has her blade halfway out of the sheath, and then
Oh my
looks around at everyone, and then
Oh.
pauses, lets out a long sigh. Yes.
It's Clover would have definitely kind of stumbled back a little bit at the jolt and the blade being grabbed. But she'd kind of steady herself a little bit and be like, "Oh, they said they wanted to tell us all about something."
Yes, Conleth had something he was going to share, I think.
Oh.
And
Sure.
Clover would
Sure.
just kind of in a bit of a quieter, like kind of mousy voice, just be like, "I'm sorry for waking you."
Oh, it's okay. I just give me a moment to gather my bearings. What are we being told about?
Well, I don't know. I think Conleth is about to tell us. And then he will look
And
over
I'm
at
not gonna
Conleth.
shout across the cave to do it.
Of course, that would tire your voice. And goodness knows you do enjoy talking.
Well, hey.
Well, hey, and Clover would kind of stay kneeled down until Isidore also stood up, so she'd kind of hang out down there until they were ready to go.
Okay. Isidore gets to her feet, and takes one step forward, pauses with this look of concern on her face, and then violently dry heaves onto the cave floor next to her.
Oh, that's not a
dear.
good sign.
Clover panics. Well, not panics. Clover gets very concerned and kind of like, I kind of want to do a roll for Clover
Well,
for a bit.
While that's happening, Cassandra leans down to Conleth. She threw up.
I
Again.
can hear, thank you.
Dry heaves, right? So she didn't throw a question.
Yeah, just kind of
Oh.
a puking motion and then
Okay, you know what?
something, but not really anything.
She's a
Okay,
few
so-
sandwiches short of the real thing, but it's close enough.
So Clover rolled low
I'm
enough that I'm going to have her. Clover rolled low enough that I'm gonna have her do her knee-jerk reaction, and
Mhm.
instead of using her smarts, she instinctively kind of leans over and puts a bit of a hand on Isidore's back as she dry heaves. You know, it like because her, you know, logic-wise, she'd be like, oh, she doesn't seem like she'd want to be touched, but instinctively she's just like, oh, and she just kind of immediately rushes over to aid in the situation.
Perhaps one of us should take a look?
A look at what?
I don't know.
Just kind of like
This,
You
and
seem
spits.
to be sick. I mean,
this is the second time you've done this today in our company. And we are accompanied by a number of healers, I cannot help but notice.
Well, it's nothing that can be healed. Fine. But if you're weird about this, I'm going to explain myself, but if you're weird about this, she points at Cassander and then looks over at Conlith.
Conlith doesn't know you're looking at him, so he's just gonna stand there.
She's
So this
pointing at you.
So this isn't like full view.
His eyebrows get angry, like, hey.
This is in like full view of everyone, right?
Yeah,
so like
you're in the middle of
Maurice-
camp.
So yeah,
I haven't been
Maurice
strange about a single
Marjoram.
thing today.
Maurice Marjoram looks over at Isidore and like not really thinking very much about why he's asking it until it comes out of his mouth, goes, "Is it about that little eye bandage thing you've got going on?" And he like gestures with his finger to like where the equivalent area would be on his face, and then like over at Isidore with a vague hand waving motion.
You have a head injury? Oh my
yes,
god!
Her eye is infected. She wouldn't let me look at it.
Clover would kind of Clover would again. She'd be kind of kneeling there. She initially she would have her hands kind of trying to, you know, stabilize and comfort Isidore, but would she have been shaken off at this point or question mark?
Yeah, Isidore's upright and like
Okay.
joined the circle at this point, and she's just still. I'm going to explain this once, and you're going to be. Everyone here's going to be normal about it. Understood?
I've been quite normal all
I
day.
plan on reacting
Well-
normally. Yeah.
Clover just nods
Mhm.
nervously.
Interpret
Okay,
that what you
one-
will.
One. Nothing's infected. Nothing is. I have an injury. Don't concern yourself with that. Two, the reason I keep throwing up is because of morning sickness.
Ooh,
Oh.
congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank
congrats,
you.
I guess. Stathis from the ground goes, oh, congratulations!
Clover looks more concerned than the other two seem to be.
Are you...
She just
Is there a reason you're pregnant out on the ice? Or was that just a fun idea?
There's a reason.
Okay.
I don't feel I owe you an explanation.
Clover would kinda-
Yes, it's none of our business.
Clover would kind of fidget a bit with the strap of her bag, which is still on her. And she would just be like, do you want me to try making something for it again?
If you wouldn't mind, I suppose. There was
Oh.
something more important that I was woken up. For what reason? Now that I'm
was
not
going
being
to tell us
interrogated.
things.
Clover just kind of nods and goes to do whatever she's gonna do while the rest of them talk. Let me do a roll for that.
Mm-hmm. I'll let you do that before Conlith begins his long
All right.
tirade.
Okay. She rolled a 26, and she has
Yeah.
4 herbs.
You can use one of those herbs to just make some simple stomach medicine.
All right. So she would do that and give that to Isidore again.
She takes it and gives her A nod of thanks.
Hello. I was expecting it. Well, I wasn't expecting it, but it would have been really funny if she gave her a thumbs up like Maurice did, and Clover's just collecting thumbs up. But no.
All right. Well, if you're all settled, well, come on over here. Everybody,
is
come on over here.
emailing
Take a
us
seat.
behind.
Well, Clover has well, Clover would kind of, again, she kind of feels safest with Isidore, but her relationship with Rory's kind of improved again, so she'd stick by either one of them.
Okay. Once Conleth hears that everyone stopped shuffling around and has hopefully settled onto the ground somewhere, near the fire, he's standing very near the
Flies
fire.
in. Sorry.
Godfrey attack! Oh, you didn't know who the final boss was, did you?
Oh no.
He's out there somewhere. No, but Conleth, he gathers everyone by the fire. Once everyone stopped shifting around, he's gonna get nice and close as he can without, becoming dangerous. And he doesn't know that he's the only one standing, but he hopes he is. As he kind of gathers your all attention, he says, well, we weren't expecting to pick up people on the road, but I guess since you're here, might as well give you a little bit of an explanation as to what's going on. Anybody already kind of know?
People have gone missing.
Yeah.
The town is gone. Well, it's there, but the people in it are gone.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's weird.
It is bizarre, if you don't have any previous context, I guess. I guess you could say that, well, myself, Alfie, Lady Gracia, our organization is designed specifically to remedy stuff like this. So we have a little bit more experience. But, well, let me put it this way. There's something out there in that town which you should not look at. Alright?
Look at?
Like with your eyes.
Why?
Well, okay.
Fascinating.
We had someone come back from the town recently, and he made it all the way back to where we were, and he told us what he'd seen, and then he promptly killed himself in front of us. So whatever's out there, it makes you do scary shit if you look at it. I've never been on one of these little missions before, but Alfie has, and he says as long as you don't look at it, you're fine.
Well, then you should be more than fine.
Well, I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about all of you.
Mm.
I mean,
What did
I presume
what
you
did
can
this
all
person
see.
describe?
Well, they didn't really give much of a description. It was more emotions and, sights and sounds. It didn't really make a lot of sense. They just said whatever it was beautiful. And they didn't have eyes when they returned, so I'm not quite sure what that means. But, yeah.
I mean, didn't have eyes. Like
he'd stabbed them out.
Can I,
Or they'd been
Sam,
stabbed out. Oh, yeah.
May I have Cassandra make some sort of, he's a scholar of perhaps things that might be relevant here.
Yeah.
Could I have him make a history check?
You're more than welcome to.
That is a natural 20.
Oh, fuck me running! Alright. Yeah, there's definitely stories of, like, things out there that could compel you to do stuff just based on sight alone. Given the locale and the weather, you have suspicions on what that might be.
Would it be... If I may ask for one additional piece of little information here at the Nat 20. Is it taboo to say names of such things?
I'm gonna say no, it's not, but it's probably... People would have to make history checks to know what the fuck you're talking about.
No, yeah. But, hearing this, with what he does know about such things. Could this perhaps be? And he looks. I know Conleth doesn't know that he's looking at him, but he is looking at Conleth. Are we? Do you all suspect the work of something divine, perhaps?
Well, I don't know about that. You'd have to ask Alfie or Lady Grassi about that kind of thing. I'm a little bit new to this operation myself. But, well, I suppose if anything would be able to make you kill yourself based on sight alone, it would be a god, right?
Oh, yes. No, I'm almost quite certain.
Mm-hmm. But basically, what I wanted to get at is that, I have, and then he's gonna like fish around his bag a little bit. He's gonna pull out like a big like piece of black, like a sheet or something that he was going to use for his bedding, and he's gonna begin to rip it. And he's gonna just kind of like hold out a bunch of strips of this stuff. He says, "Well, for your own safety, I suggest you take one of these. You put it on now, and you don't take it off until we're out of Siren's Rock."
Okay.
I have a question because my
Yeah.
listening is bad. When Conleth was talking about the guy that came back and told him about it, he said he killed himself. I remember there being the eyes thing. Was the guy arrived with no eyes, or he stabbed him out? And I forget what he said.
He didn't clarify.
Oh, I thought he said something about the eyes, right?
Yeah, he said he stabbed his eyes out, or something stabbed them out. He didn't clarify when, where, how, why.
Okay. Okay. So Clover has been trembling a bit since this has been talked about. Because of all the talk about the eyes, her brain has flashed back to that donkey again, with its missing eyes. And she'd kind of be trembling, and she would not step forward to take the blindfold yet. She would kind of be in her own little panic mode, kind of. She would not be. She'd be. Yeah. Her breathing would be unsteady.
She's like very visibly trembling, right?
Yeah. She's not okay.
Cassandra will look at her, and I mean, he's kind of been smiling this whole time, but maybe it's like a nicer, like more. Perhaps he's trying to be comforting. Oh, Miss Clover, do not fret. From the descriptions, it sounds like we'll be in the presence of something truly divine, a once in a lifetime opportunity.
When he talks to her, Clover would kind of just be quiet for a second, and then she'd just quietly say to herself, just the donkey.
Oh, well, I'm sure the donkey was lucky too.
And she kind of, God, I forgot it. I'm trying to remember exactly what Conleth said regarding the eyes, because I'm trying to keep Clover on track with what he said.
The little bird told me so, in fact.
It was that he said that the eyes were not there, but he didn't specify what like if they were like that when the person arrived? Question mark.
The donkey never had eyes. I think it's.
No, I'm saying the person Conleth was talking about.
Sam.
Are you asking that to Conleth?
No, I'm asking you what he said.
He said the guy didn't have eyes. He was not specific.
Okay. But going by what you said, and if I'm trying to remember, Clover's mind would just immediately go to the donkey and thinking of the guy without eyes that Conleth is talking about. And she'd just kind of be like gripping her bag and trembling, and she'd just look up and be like, "That donkey was yours."
Yeah. Yeah, of course it was. I thought we established that.
Yeah. She'd just be like, "Were you already there?"
At the village? No, we're on our way.
She'd just kind of look down, and she's clearly having thoughts, TM.
Mhm.
But
He's
she
gonna
kind of
insight check you with
Okay.
his limited ability to do so. Yeah, he
Yeah, I was
got a
like-
-1. He doesn't know shit.
All right. Yeah, so she's yeah, Clover would not take the claw thread advice. She's too busy panicking.
Hmm. Well, Conleth is gonna kind of just put him on the ground. He's gonna say, "Well, I suggest you take one now. If you don't put it on, at least take it." To which Stathis is kind of like gonna crawl forward. He's gonna grab one. He's gonna say, I'll just keep it in my pocket. I got 2 left feet. If I put this on now, ooh, might not wake up in the morning. I don't know."
Excellent.
Are we in presence of? Are we getting close enough that whatever might be there would possibly pose a threat to us, you think, Kala?
Oh, not in here. The objects we look for are purely sedentary. They don't move. They're not even alive.
Objects.
Well, I've never personally seen one. Well, obviously, I've never personally touched one either. But from what I've been told, they're kind of circular, or at least the base is circular, and very cold, and very delicate.
What are they
Just-
made of?
I mean, from my experience, either cold stone or ice. Again, haven't seen it myself.
And these objects, they appear in places where people have disappeared?
You know what? I'm gonna be right back. And then he's gonna skitter off to where Gracia's little tent is. Guy who doesn't know that much. He needs backup.
I need a refresher. Is Alphios out with them, or is
No,
he still
he's
in?
in the tent. He's in the tent. Presumably that's
He's still
where.
in the tent. Okay.
Presumably that's where Conleth is going.
Okay. In that case, Clover would be staring at the tent in her nervousness,
Mhm.
because otherwise she would have been looking at him. But he is not out here, so she is looking where he is instead.
Mm-hmm. There's a few minutes, presumably there's talking happening inside before Conleth reemerges with Alphios. Alphios has changed his clothing to like sleeping clothing, and he looks rather grumpy about being disturbed. But he comes forward regardless. Says, "I heard we're talking about the journey."
Yes. I believe Conleth had just gotten to the part where he was describing some sort of icy object.
Oh, yes, the Untitled.
The Untitled.
Well, we don't know what to call them, and the person who first found them was a fan of the arts. So, they're simply called the Untitled. This will be the 4th one.
What do they do? Or
Well,
what are they?
as far as I'm aware, they're a large conical structure that simply appears in the earth one day and drives everyone around them insane.
Fascinating.
That's
And
a word for it.
those that don't take their own lives,
They always
they-
do. Sooner or later, they always do. Unless, of course,
Clover's
someone is
been-
there to snap them out of it. That's why we have one of these. He's holding his staff in his hand.
Clover is has been staring tensely at Alphios since he came out. And she'd just kind of be recounting everything they have said both earlier and just now. And she just kind of she'd talk very quietly as though it's like she's not sure if she wants to be heard or not.
Mhm.
But she'd kind of, it would be intended for Conleth, but you know, he can't
Mhm.
tell that regardless. But she would ask him now rather than me asking you. She would ask him, and she'd just kind of be like, "The man that came back, what happened to his eyes?"
Well, some people who have a little bit more information attempt to help themselves, but often it's too late. once you've looked, there's no taking it back.
That did not help Clover at all.
Mm.
She would just kind of she'd kind of look back at Alphios, who can't tell that she's looking at him. And she just, her brain has been swirling around, and she's just like, "You said you don't have eyes."
Correct. You notice he
Um,
isn't wearing his little Finn shawl right now.
Oh, is there any appearance change?
Want to make a perception?
Yeah, he's wearing sleeping
I
stuff.
sure do want to make a perception check. That's
What was
another nat
Oh.
20, baby.
Oh my god.
What's wrong with this guy?
Anybody else want to make a perception check?
I mean, Clover's been staring the dude down, so I guess she should do one
Yeah.
too.
Stares
the
at you.
hell?
My god,
Lamau,
Cassandra's
that's a
stealing
nat
all of.
one.
Oh, Isidore.
She's just too tired. She's like, I want to go back to bed.
Understandable.
Clover gets a 24.
Okay. The two of you can see that his eyes are still closed, but his whole face is covered in little spiderweb cracks almost that are glowing very light gray in the mostly dark cave.
Clover would kind of at the moment she noticed that, she'd kind of be thinking about everything, and she'd just say, God, I'm trying to remember Kamla's story. She would remember it better than me. So he said, there's something there. If you look at it, you kill yourself, and the eye's gone, basically. Okay, TLDR. Okay, so she'd kind of just be like, you've seen it before.
Oh, me? No, I've only been in its presence. I can't see much of anything. If that wasn't obvious. He opens his eyelids and there isn't anything there, much to your surprise, as I imagine.
Clover would press X to doubt, but she'd
You're
kind
welcome
of
to insight check him on stuff.
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
Cassandra will.
Yeah, Clover's definitely doing that.
That's an. Oh wait, no.
That's
the 17.
Insight. Is that? Oh, okay. What did Cassandra get?
He got a 17.
Oh, Clover got a 31.
Alright, you can both tell he seems to be telling the truth. He has never seen one of these things. His eyeball issues are either unrelated or not directly related.
And sorry, because he also noticed the things. Mr. Alphias, may I ask you perhaps a personal question?
Alphios kind of he doesn't smile, but he makes kind of a neutral, pleasant face, oh, I suppose.
I can't help but notice you seem to be glowing.
Oh, just a bit. Nothing to be worrying about.
Can Cassandra make a bestiary check?
Sure, go ahead.
Yep. That is a 23.
23. Alright, so, two things Cassandra knows with a 23. Number one, there's, monsters out there. You've heard of them. And there's some monsters that are they're very much towing the line between oh, that's a guy and that's a critter. And sometimes people get awfully friendly with those kinds of monsters. And those kinds of monsters and person relationships can produce spawn. Usually, this child will be human, but with bonus parts.
Can I have Clover do a check too for that?
Sure.
Me just casually opening the creature manual, noticing there's only one thing in the abominable section. Okay.
Literally don't care. Shut the fuck up.
But
Clover got a 25.
him.
Yeah, you also know this. You know that, oh, yeah, it's super rare, but occasionally people do go down on monsters and then have weird children.
Well, that wouldn't happen if you go down on them, Sam.
Hey, it could be mutual. It could be mutual.
Cassandra,
winning.
knowing this and seeing the glowing man, he will simply just go, I see. Okay, as long as you're aware. And then he will drop it there.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
Man who
Well-
is put together things.
Yeah, well, Clover, since you said that it seemed like that she really felt like he was telling the truth, which is probably the first time that she has felt that about him since they met. So she would be like, all right, well, like she wouldn't be speaking. Like in her mind, she's like, oh well, if he's telling the truth about that, she would kind of start thinking of other options as to what the hell's going on here, and so she would start kind of trying to think through her mind if she remembers anything that would have marks like that and shit, and she would
Do you want to make
yeah,
a bestiary
notice those
check
two
to
things.
narrow it down to see if you can
Yes.
narrow it down to what the hell's going on with this
Yeah.
guy?
Yeah.
Anyone can make a bestiary check.
Yes. All right.
Alright.
Okay. Ooh, okay. Nice Clover. A+ Clover.
That's a 19. for
Clover
me.
got 36.
Damn. Okay. With a 19,
Girl's a fucking genius.
I'm gonna say both of you. You both got it. It's fine. But yeah, there's a specific type of extremely rare critter out there in the world, which kind of looks like a person-shaped hole in the universe. Usually presents as like a gray smear. They're usually called interlopers, and according to local mythology, what's accepted is that they're mages that fucked up so bad they removed themselves from the universe, but they're still kind of there.
And you could have sex with
And
them.
you can absolutely have sex with them.
Oh my god. Okay. So, okay. Well,
I think-
Clover is once again very uneasy. This has not helped anything, except for her knowing more than she wants to. Well, that she does want to.
I've heard of getting whole, but this is just ridiculous.
Oh my god.
He has 2 holes. They're in his eyeballs.
Wow.
That's
Special.
worrying.
Cassandra's just smiling. He can't see, but everybody else who sees Cassandra, this is the face of a man who is like, wow, beautiful.
Yeah.
Love
Mhm.
wins.
But I
Meanwhile, Clover, the opposite reaction as she takes a step backwards.
Alphias is just gonna smile a little bit, and he says, "Well, if you must know, I did not lose my eyes to anything related to this mission or any other one. I was punched in the head."
Oh.
By who?
Can
Another
Clover make
person.
insight about that?
Sure, go ahead.
Or perception, rather. That would not be
Bro,
insight,
your
that would be perception.
eyeballs.
What
got
are you
punched
perceiving?
hard.
Wait, he said he didn't lose anything from this mission because he got punched in the head.
Yeah.
That'd be an insight check, I think,
Yeah,
if you're trying to
Clover
tell
wants to
he's
see if he's
lying.
telling the.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's an
that's
insight check.
exactly what it would do. Yeah. Because, note that this is mainly because Clover does not trust a fucking word he says, so I'm just.
Mhm, understandable.
He's
Have a
just like,
delightful day.
every single thing
Mhm.
he says, she's like, is he lying?
Mm-hmm. No, Cassandra's
36.
not rolling this check because he trusts you, monster man.
Mhm.
Go off.
36.
36, he's completely telling the truth. He got punched in the head.
Clover's like, yeah, this guy got fucked up.
Why the-
Okay.
Do you want to
Fucking-
Can you make a perception check on him, actually, Clover? Since you're, like, staring
Yeah.
at him so hard?
Isn't that what I thought that's what I just did?
No, you
He
made
did
an
an
insight
insight
check.
check.
Perception.
Oh, no, yeah, I said perception before. Did
I
no one
know,
hear
and
me
then we
say it?
corrected you because you were making the wrong check.
What? Oh, so I did do insight, but I
Yes.
thought I was doing perception.
Yes, so
Okay.
please make
Then
a
I guess I
perception
am also doing perception. Alright, then that's that one. Okay. 25.
You can see that he's like kind of standing not in front of you, but like kind of like next to you, so you see like the side of him. And you can see that one of his ears is like super fucked up, as if it's been like beat the shit out of him. So yeah, it tracks.
Yeah, alright. I mean, I would have her do a
Hurting
medical
baby
check, but I don't know
girls.
if that's necessary.
You're welcome to if you'd like.
I don't want to. I mean, okay. Why the fuck not? She always gets good rolls on useless shit. Girl, where was this earlier? This is gonna be gone during the fighting, I swear to god.
Mm-hmm.
Medicine I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking 39!
Christ. Well, you see his ear, and you know, you've done a bit of healing before. Well, that's a definitely a blunt force-based injury, the kind you get from being punched repeatedly over a long span of time.
Alright. Clover, 10 out of 10 for sure. This guy got fucked up. Alright. Well, she's kind of like, she's still not trusting of him, but she's like, alright, well, he's telling the truth right now, but she's still, doesn't want to be close to him. she is stepping away. She is as far as she can be while still being involved in the conversation at this point. She kind of has taken some steps back now.
Mm-hmm. But Alphios is going to return to the conversation point at hand, and he's going to say, "But I agree with Conlith. You should definitely either take these blindfolds or put them on now, put them on when we leave. I won't ask anyone to make more permanent steps, but it's at your leisure. If you feel like you're someone who might be tempted into looking, maybe consider that."
Looks at Cassander
Cassander is just
with his
smiling.
empty eye holes.
Cassander's just smiling as he always is.
I feel like
Maurice
Cassander would get along. Sorry, never mind. Side tangent. I'm shutting.
Maurice Marjoram holds up Turgis and was like, "Would you be a good seeing eye, Audible, if I had to go blind?" Turgis just squints at him and then sneezes.
My Turgis.
Cassander will, because I assume he's the one standing closest to these two blind men at this point. He, kind of just more towards Conlith, because he's been doing this for Conlith a lot, will go, he's holding your spud.
Oh, delightful. You better not let that near any of our stuff.
I would
Maurice-
keep your valuables away.
He's a well-behaved little gentleman. I promise. He will stay in his little sack of friend where he belongs.
Yeah,
I'm
that little
surprised he
penny
hasn't-
muncher better not get out.
I'm surprised he hasn't chewed through it. Most vermin would have by now.
He likes it. It's his little home and hovel. And so he gently dispenses the spud back into the sack where it belongs.
How nice he has a home.
He does. He
You'd
loves
probably
it.
better keep that thing closed when we get, close. Should your little creature catch sight of what we're about to go destroy, well, you could say goodbye.
That would
Is a
be
spud
unfortunate.
capable of insanity?
Everything with eyes is
What
capable
a
of
question.
insanity.
Fascinating.
I would like to just make a note. When we're like supposedly done with the day and everyone goes to bed, I want to have Clover do something after everyone's asleep. So don't
Yeah.
move
Thumbs
on
up.
when that happens.
Thumbs up.
That's all. I'm done for now.
Is there any pieces of paper lying around?
I mean, I could say Clover left one on the ground by accident if you want.
Yeah, I think that would work. Maurice Marjoram is
Sure.
gonna try to fold a little hat for Turgis that like it covers the eyes.
Oh, the Turgis
Excellent.
hat. The Turgis dunce cap.
Turgis dunce cat.
Oh, Turgis.
He's becoming little fella in his little hat. Maurice Marjoram says when the hat is completed, putting it gently onto Turgis's little noggin.
Do you think he'll be able to keep that on?
I'm sure he will. He's a patient little man.
Well, if you're worried, I suppose we could always gouge out his eyes.
Maurice Marjoram looks so sad. At the very suggestion is sacrilegious to him.
I wish Clover was paying attention because she would comfort him, but she is miles away right now.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just a safety measure. I would not wish to torture something.
what if it accidentally lobotomizes my little boy?
Does he have a
he
brain
doesn't have
to
a big brain, but
lobotomize?
he's still got a brain in there somewhere.
Is a spud capable of being lobotomized? I suppose if it's capable of going insane.
I don't want to find out.
Anything with 2 halves of a brain. Yeah.
You know what?
Hmm.
I think maybe we should let it look. Now I'm curious.
God, I love.
Too.
I'm sorry. I'm just the
Mm-hmm.
just the hilarity of the situation of everyone like having this like discussion over the spud as Clover's to the side, like having a mental breakdown.
She's rocking back and forth.
Cassandra puts like a hand to his cheek and like tilts his head into it like thoughtfully. Is a spud capable of gazing on and recognizing God?
Huh.
Could a
I guess
spud
there's
be
no
a
way to
prophet?
find out.
Asking the real questions.
Fascinating. Perhaps we should let your spud gaze, Maurice.
I think a spud is
Oh,
capable
hold on, I
of
unplugged my
sin.
headphones.
Ah!
Hey, Maurice.
Get Bluetooth.
Oh my god, get in the fucking hole, dude.
I think a spud is capable of
No.
sin.
It's alright.
God.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Swag.
The last
Your
thing
turns.
I
We
didn't
didn't
hear
say
anything
much.
after. Okay, cool.
Basically, what was said was just Maurice Marjoram going, I think spuds are capable of sin.
Oh well, of course they are. Horrible little things that they are.
They're literally vermin.
Also, everything is capable of sin.
Yes. I think he knows right from wrong, my little Turgus does.
Perhaps we could make him a disciple. Perhaps we could find him a messenger.
I
love
don't know
how
if I think the little spud should be talking to God.
I'm sure he would have lots of things to say.
I love
Yeah,
that you're
like
talking
Meep.
about converting the fucking spud.
I suppose I could give it a try if you wanted, Maurice.
I wouldn't want to do that sort of thing without the spud's consent. It's his choice what religion he joins.
Well, I'm not sure if consent is a big part of being blasted with light magic.
I think Conleth is gonna kind of like turn a little bit towards you. Like he's remembering something you said earlier and wants to ask about it outside of this conversation.
He will. No, Cassandra does like tilt his head. Yes.
Oh, it can wait until this is done.
Okay.
But yeah. Any other questions about where we're going?
No. Are we expecting a fight, I suppose? I suppose that's the only question I have.
Oh, I doubt it. There's never fights as far as I'm aware. And he looks over at Alfie, and Alfie goes, no. At least I've never had someone try to fight me while destroying one of these things.
Well, that's good.
Maybe bring a weapon to knock it down.
Already there.
Excellent. Well then, just keep your eyes covered and your head on straight, and you should be fine.
Not a problem.
I think Alphias is gonna kind of nod to Conleth, and slap him on the shoulder so he actually knows he's there. And then begin turning back towards the little tent. And he's going to walk over there if no one has anything further to say to him.
Wow. Monster fucking real. Love
Wow.
wins.
Real.
Love wins? Question
Wait,
mark?
wait.
Romance.
Is it a spoiler for you to answer the question? Was it love winning or was some fucked up shit happening between his parents?
Love was winning. I think.
Okay, good.
Hell yeah.
I think I'm envisioning that well,
The
as
whole-
much as love wins can between a lady and just an absence of a person.
Oh, so it was a lady. How does that work? Does the hole have a penis?
I suppose.
Yes.
Wow.
Sorry, were you
love
expecting the
wins.
Next
whole
question.
to get pregnant?
No,
Yes, I have experience.
I mean, I guess I don't know what's worse, the idea of a man sticking his dick in like just a void in the world, or a woman just kind of trying to mount that.
Men are always fucking doing.
Yeah.
No, his mother was a human woman, and his
father was a
other
hole.
parent was question mark.
It had a penis. Things happen.
Good enough.
Love wins. I think love wins.
Yeah.
I like to imagine love wins.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask for a piddle break before this
Yes, you
twink
can.
harasses me?
Yes, yes, you can. I will also use the
Yippee.
bathroom.
My God, this is the third time.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Gosh.
Who's gonna win, us or the bathroom?
My God, honestly. You know what? Real shit. Fucking, if Stathis and Clover were not both taken, man, I would so
I swear to
So
God.
go
I want
after
them-
this.
Oh, I would
You go to
want them-
Sam like, hey, you want to make an AU?
If only
cute.
Maurice Marjoram was smart.
My God. I'm just like, Clover on the hunt for her husband. Me. There's a perfectly good husband right here.
I don't know why I've been throwing around Maurice Marjoram ex Lady Gracia in my head, but for some reason that's a ship that's
Who?
been
What? Who ex Gracia?
Maurice Marjoram ex Lady
Oh, I
Gracia.
thought you were doing the Alphaios thing.
I do, I want Alphaios so bad. Like Maurice and Alphaios. I feel like they could be having an
Then I
want
don't know,
them.
Alphaios might be too smart for the guy.
Unfortunately, yeah, Alphaios sees
I don't know if that
Maurice
could happen. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Maurice. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, not my
unfortunately.
man's, but
This is the curse I bear. This is the real permanent status effect that I take. Maurice Marjoram being a fool. A dullard. But
Ugh.
it's a word that I have to stick to my
See,
guns somewhat.
it's actually really funny because when I first made Clover's backstory, it was originally like before obviously like romance got involved. It was originally planned to be a brother that went missing that she went to find. But then I was like, I never make self ships, you know, let me do that. And now I'm like, damn it. but Stathis has a girlfriend, so whatever. It's fine.
I love how we're
Miss Steal your man.
accidentally cock blocking.
Accident.
I'm back.
Hi Sam.
Hi.
We're not talking about anything.
Oh no.
Oh no, I'll fully own up to it. We were talking about romancing NPC. How we accidentally wrote ourselves out of NPC romance.
Damn.
Oopsie.
How did you write yourself out of NPC romance?
Well, it's like Maurice Marjoram. Like, I don't know if Alphaios is gonna see Maurice Marjoram as not equal to him, but it's like, you know, kind of Maurice Marjoram sort of a fool.
I mean, you're welcome to try.
Okay, I might as well try. Maurice Marjoram has love in his heart. Maybe this will get through to Alphaios somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just here like, if Clover and Stathis were not both taken, it would be adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Maurice
Also-
Marjoram has
Shimmy's over.
Mm-hmm.
he has
I drew
Make an
a-
AU? Question mark.
I drew Alphaios what he looked like
Post
about
it.
10 years ago, or 15, 20 years ago. You want to see it?
Post
please,
it.
Are you
God,
interested?
show me.
Show me my.
Please,
Show
I'm
me my
unwell.
baby girl. Show
I'm
me baby
begging you.
girl.
Yeah.
Please.
You know what? I like him
Oh.
better when he's older.
No, you
I'm gonna
That's
say
not my
something.
type.
I'm gonna say something uncouth.
no, you can't be doing this
Yeah.
to me, Sam.
I'm gonna say so. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do something uncouth, Samantha.
I'm getting
Yeah.
literal tears in my eyes, man. I am this close.
You ever
No, I
see a
understand.
picture of a man that immediately makes you
No, I
He's
under
so-
you.
Oh,
I understand how
That's
you feel
funny
about
as hell.
Tillian.
Is so fucking bad with names. Yeah. Isidore's parent in the bathroom as well.
Isidore's parent?
Yes.
Annika? Annika's in the bathroom, I believe.
Okay. Oh my god, it even says the name on the screen. Even on the screen.
I'm feeling.
Isidore's parent. I know Isidore's lore.
I'm feeling sentiments that would get me exiled from the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
Seeing young Alphaios.
Yeah. You're thinking
I
about
like
that
him
thing?
so much better as an old man, I'm gonna be honest.
No,
I
that's
like
totally
him.
fair.
I like him in all forms.
That picture's not my taste, not my type.
Mm-hmm. Understandable.
The little happy trail. Um,
Now I feel like I shown on the screen. It's not that.
Please.
It's not suggestive.
I mean, it's
not
just
that-
It's just
shirtless.
a guy
just
with
a
a shirt
shirtless
on.
man.
There he is.
It looks like he's boxing. That's kind of what I took it as.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
There he is.
Hey, baby girl.
Are those all of his? Are those? Is that counting up the number of wins he had in the ring of his boxing matches?
Shrug. I don't know. He's got his jammies on. You can kind of see he's got a little bit of that showing.
Mm-hmm. Well, he went back to his little room, didn't he? The
Mhm.
tent.
Well, he went back to Gracia's room.
Mm.
Also,
Oh.
Wick.
Annika returns.
Okay.
Alright.
Not the
I have
dog
to make,
trying to follow me into the bath.
Isidor's parent returns.
I have to make an effort. I have to deploy Maurice Marjorum's himbo riz. I have to
Oh.
at least try.
Go, chase that tail.
Fuck it, might as well try.
We will. But anyways,
Also fascinatingly impressive.
Wait, what did I miss? Who's getting rizzed?
We were just talking about like stupid shit, like jokes.
Maurice Maurice is gonna rizz our Belfires.
Yeah.
Attempt 2.
And also Tiamat is.
Mm-hmm. Me, the guy.
Yeah, I don't. I'm gonna
Sorry, I
be,
just
gonna
saw
be honest.
Shrikey's thing. Oh shit. Hi.
Yeah, Annika.
I was just gonna
Like,
say,
back
like, Sam
off.
posted the art of this guy, and everybody was like, "Oh my god, this is the guy!" What? And I'm just like, I mean, it's a fun design, but
No,
why is
no,
everyone
you
losing their friggin' minds about?
no, you missed it. I was also like, not my type.
Mm-hmm.
He's
That's
kinda-
okay. I
he's a
make all
guy.
kinds of people and creatures for a variety of
You do.
audiences. Welcome to my emporium.
No, Sam knows that I came into our server, and I was like, you know what? I'm done of hiding it. Godfried hot.
Yeah. God, sexy
See, no,
man Godfrey
no.
takes another life.
Now that feels sacrilegious to me.
No, yeah, no. I came into those DMs, and I was like, girl,
Picking
if he was
picking
not
the
a
one with
taken man.
mange.
I was gonna say he's spoken for.
He's
No, yeah, I was like, if he was, I am Mrs. Steal Your Man. Hello.
Listen.
All right. Some
Okay,
people in the
back on
chat
track.
know more than others. Don't spoil anything. But okay, we're back. Yeah. So Conleth is still here. Does anybody have any last minute questions for Conleth? Does anyone want to make an insight check on Conleth?
Yeah, I
Yeah. Clover is constantly staring at all
That's
those bitches.
21? Yeah, 21.
Let me see. Let me get Clover's. We're doing insight question mark?
Yes.
29.
He looks displeased and distrustful, but you're not sure in what direction. He's just kind of out in the open. He's not obviously looking at anyone, but he looks a little bit just like something didn't go to plan.
Oh.
Sander, who's
Clover's
been,
like, yeah, man, same bitch.
who has been, around him in this cave, for most of this, will just kind of lean, because I know he's very short and Cassandra's very tall, so he just kind of like walks up, like behind him, leaning down so that their faces are like level. What's wrong?
I think Conleth jumps a little bit because you're suddenly so close to his face.
Yeah.
And he takes a step back and says, "What? Nothing's wrong. What do you
You're
mean?
making a face.
It's fine. It's fine. I just
No, it's not.
Hey,
Clover's watching this go down from afar.
I just well, you all seem like nice people. Maybe not the
Sure.
most how do I put this? Your convictions maybe might not be exactly up to snuff when we go out there. So just take extra care. Don't be convinced to look.
Of course, that would be very bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you don't have to worry about us.
Yeah. I'm sure I don't. He's gonna insight check you now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on. That's about as
Oh.
high as he can get without a natural 20.
Alright.
That is a 14.
Wow. Blind man's looking.
Get the vibe. Cassandra is not like he's gonna put the blindfold on. Like you can get that vibe. He's gonna, But if that's God,
Cassandra's
that's
Cassandra is gonna make Conleth frown deeply, like, oh, you're one of the ones on my short list of people we gotta keep a fucking eyeball on. Get it? Get it? Get it?
Time out. Your microphone is like peaking.
Like from eyeball?
like from eyeball. Cassandra will say nothing, just continue to like look and be in his general direction.
Mm-hmm. I think Conleth is gonna say like, well, it's late. It's cold. And I'm going to assume it's dark. So I think it's great. Well, I'm going to get settled. It looks like the ground's a little bit drier than it was before. Now that we've got the fire going. Rest up.
Mm-hmm.
And he is
Well,
going
his-
to kind of like not fall asleep, but he's gonna get comfortable on his little meager bedroll and sheet.
Clover would head to her bedroll, and she would lie down and turn away, but seemingly going to sleep. Seemingly.
Mm-hmm. After a couple minutes of everyone getting situated in their beds, Alphaeus is gonna reappear. He's kind of just like humming to himself, like completely without a care in the world. And he's going to set down his own bedroll, which looks like it's much better packed than Conleth's is, perhaps from experience. And crawl in. It's like a little sleeping bag, and presumably go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. And is there any movement from Gracia's tent?
Nope, none at all, except for the gentle, occasional sway of fabric.
See, I want to go bother Gracia. But actually, can if Cassandra were to walk over, like not go into the tent or anything like that, would there be any? Because I assume Alphaeus is sleeping near her. Tent?
No, he's not. He's by the fire because it's cold as fuck. The cart is actually nowhere near the fire.
Okay. Would there be any? Cassandra walks over to Ted. Nothing from her. I mean, I know her boys can't see anything, but
they don't respond, and she doesn't say anything to you.
Okay. Well, he. Lady Gracia, is it?
You hear a heavily accented voice say, "Enter."
He will enter.
All right, you are in this pitch dark little tent. You want to make a perception check?
I would love to make a perception check.
Take a minus 10 debuff because it's literally pitch black.
You got it. Oh god. Okay, minus 10 to the roll total.
Yeah.
Is there not disadvantage as a mechanic in your game?
Yeah, there
so
is,
that's
but I want you to take the debuff.
That's a -3 total.
All right, you don't see shit. You're pitch black, but you know she's somewhere in here, presumably.
Cassandra will just like stand like in the entryway, but mostly because he can't see, but also because he's like, clearly this lady likes her privacy. I'm getting that vibe, ma'am.
What is it that you seek?
Your companions, they spoke to us a bit about what was going on, but I thought perhaps you would be privy to some more information.
She stays silent.
And I was simply curious, would perhaps Do you all perhaps suspect the work of our Lord Ice Dancer?
Gracia is gonna say nothing for a long minute. She's gonna say,
Mm-hmm.
you know of the name.
Oh, yes. I am familiar. I am a bit of a scholar of these things. There's only so much, of course. I am by no means an expert. Not many people, not many humans especially, care to document such things. Not many are able to.
Few live to tell the tale.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is my suspect.
I see.
I have bore witness to it. I can confirm it.
To the phenomenon or to Ice Dancer?
The phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
No one bears witness to Ice Dancer lives.
Of course. Have you borne witness to many? Or, I believe they said this was the fourth one.
I have seen 3. I will see 4 at the end of tomorrow.
And you are... Of course, I hope you forgive my rudeness, but you are able to see.
I am.
Mm.
Not in this moment, as it is dark.
Of course.
Can I peep in, pop in? Question mark?
Depends. What are you doing?
I wanted to roll a perception check for Clover to see if she saw Cassandra go into the tent because she's still awake.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
If that's okay, if I'm not like,
Yeah, go ahead.
like,
Sure.
a fucking natural one.
Nope,
God damn it.
you didn't see shit.
I
You were
wanted
facing
to-
the other way.
All right. That's no fun.
And is this phenomenon related to it? Or I'm merely trying to understand.
Ice Dancer makes these things, and she leaves them out where people can be hurt by them. We destroy them. It is that simple.
Is there a purpose for it? Her leaving them.
To be viewed, presumably. Given what they do. All artists want their work to be viewed.
Of course. It is almost like a gift from her, if not for the ill effects.
Exactly. Perhaps there are only ill effects according to you and I.
I suspect as much.
But this one must be destroyed. I have no confidence regarding the surrounding town.
Oh, I suspect they're long gone.
She does respond.
And then, is this what is your organization here? Do you all specialize in specifically the removal of these objects?
Correct. I seek out the sightless, and they destroy them. They are unaffected.
A very wise tactic. Are there other such phenomenon like this? Not necessarily Ice Dancers doing.
None that I have bothered to pay attention to, for they have not affected me.
Understandable. I imagine it must be quite a lot of work dealing with just this.
She kind of makes like a weird noise. Like you're not quite sure what just happened in there. But then she says, "'Tis not so bad. Only every couple of years. And often far away from the populace. This is the first one to appear in a city proper."
Is she on some manner of routine?
Along the northern coast. They'll wash up small villages, fishing posts, roads very infrequently traveled. I'm sure there's many more out there that have never been discovered simply because there are no people around to behold them. Could be hundreds. Could be none at all.
I see. And when you are done here, are you all just going to return to where you came from?
Of course, and wait for the next one.
Hmm. He just sort of nods like I see. I believe I do believe that was all of my questions for you. I appreciate you taking the time
Mm-hmm. Well,
and for allowing us to accompany you.
it is not a matter of allowance. I don't control you. Though I can advise you, you should consider becoming sightless. You seem to be weak of will.
Lamau.
Perhaps.
I could do it for you.
Oh. Have you done it for others?
No. I haven't needed to. They usually come that way.
I see. I believe I will take my chances, Lady Gracia.
Suit yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you succumb to madness, they will put you down.
Oh. I suppose. Though most people have already told me I'm afflicted with such things. So, how much more mad can one really be? Yes, he can! That is a... Ooh, well, that's a big number. 29.
29? Well, obviously you can't see her.
Mhm.
But the vibe is like, ooh, I don't know about your chances, buddy.
He just sort of, like, perhaps chuckles, like, a bit, like, not in, like, a, haha, you said a funny joke, but, I... This, well, I won't say I've gotten out of worse situations. I have gotten out of different, just as threatening situations, perhaps. And if I die, perhaps that is just the will.
Mm-hmm. Well, grab a blindfold and be gone with you.
Very well. Thank you again.
She does
And then
not
he-
answer.
And he will depart back
As
to
soon as you get out of the
Oh,
thing, you know who
Uh-huh.
did roll a good perception check for the first time in his life?
who?
Conlith.
Conlith.
Conlith is standing there with his hands on his hips, like squinting
Hello.
at you, or where you might be. He says, "And what do you think you're doing?
Having a chat.
You can't just go have a chat with Lady Gracia.
I believe I just did.
You can't, though. You're not. That's not how this works. You go talk to Alfie, and then Alfie goes has a chat.
Oh. Can I make an insight check?
Sure.
Can I?
That's 25.
He's insulted. You violated the order. How fucking dare you?
Can I also have Maurice Marjoram roll like a perception check to hear if he hears this or not?
Sure. Are you asleep?
No, I don't think he'd be asleep
Yeah.
just yet. I
Conleth
think
is
he's
definitely
sort
like whispering, but yes, go ahead.
Mhm.
All right. So then from there, that would be okay. Dice roller. So it's specifically what would I roll for perception again? Just
You roll a d20, then you add your wisdom mod, and then you add your perception if you have it, or you subtract it if you really don't have it.
Could I also do another roll for Clover for her noticing this
Sure.
instance?
then wisdom mod. So
That's perception, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it would be
Clover, oh,
18.
Clover got 25. Oh,
18, 20. Yeah, you both notice. People are definitely talking.
Okay.
Maybe you don't hear their exact words.
Cassandra is just sort of looking down at him like, oh, well, she didn't seem offended. And I meant no offense to you. I simply had some questions.
You should
And
have
she
asked one
answered
of
them.
us.
Oh, well, I didn't wish to. Well, forgive me, Conleth, it didn't seem like you knew.
He seems so insulted by that.
Unless I was incorrect, you know of Ice Dancer?
What the hell is an ice dancer?
Exactly.
What? What do you know we don't? Hold on.
I told you I am a scholar.
What? Oh.
Surely you don't think all of my words lack merit.
He gets really, really close to you. Like, close enough where you think he's gonna, like, just ram into you. And he says, what did she say? What did she say to you?
If you wish, I will tell you. She did not impress that it needed to be kept confident, but perhaps we should step away from her tent.
He shuffles backwards a couple steps. You notice that he's grabbed a hole of the front of your tabard. He's dragging you with him. You are still uncomfortably close.
Cassandra is allowing himself to be dragged. Anybody who's watching this will note that he's still got that same, just like, Cassandra's what we call in the business an unbothered king. Well, yeah. All right. Once there, I presume he's just dragging them back over to where they set up their little sleeping
and
things.
You're still, like, standing, like, nose to chest with him, I guess. He's not tall.
Mm-hmm. Well, based on what you told me, and from what I know of my own research, I suspected, correctly, that there was indeed a god at play. One called Ice Dancer.
What does that mean?
I'm gonna pull something up here.
Mm-hmm. Go
Looks at
ahead.
Sam.
Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, have you just used your authority as like the lore keeper, to produce a character who is basically just the lore guy, but
Tiamat has
not
access to
metatextual?
Tiamat has access to one extremely short document from a previous thing. He does not know what's going on in here. Full context.
No.
He does not know the plan. He's not in on it.
Oh yeah, not in on this in particular, but
Yes.
just like
But for full disclosure, well, I kind of had an idea who was in here, and I did get permission from Sam before crafting this character.
Thumbs up.
I was very, very explicit with, if you don't want me touching this, I simply will not. And she said, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So, it was all encouraged. So let me look at this little thing.
Also,
which
all of
is-
Ice Dancer's shit is in the public documents as far as, like, condemnations and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, this is just like a little, I guess, descriptor thing that I have.
Mm-hmm.
But
very Dark Souls kind of name.
Mm-hmm.
but Cassandra will. I suppose I should just start with, what do you know about gods and the like? Dragon gods.
He's gonna make a history check. I think he's okay at that.
I mean, it looks like it. He's not proficient, but he's got a pretty high magic mod.
Yeah, hold on. What's 9 plus 9? 18? Yeah, okay, yeah, he got an 18. So he thinks, he's like, well, dragon gods give, chosen people power and weaponry to go fight wars and stuff.
Oh, forgive me. I meant gods that dragons worship.
He's gonna make another history check. Oh, you got the same thing. He says, oh, I know they're bizarre. And
That's a
not
word
really
for
worth
it.
talking about in the modern age.
Funny you would say that considering we're walking towards something that one of them made.
Oh, gods. What does that mean? Oh, no.
Your lady made it sound like perhaps she would not be gracing us with her presence. But this is almost certainly well, again, I told you the reason I was walking out here after hearing what I did about Siren's Rock. I did presume there was some divine at play. I wasn't sure who. I've never really encountered any up close, of course. All I know is just from study. But after you started explaining a bit, maybe not so much the structure, that's the first time I'm hearing of her doing such things, of her art pieces, but the suicide aspect,
Uh-huh.
that is one of her traits, one could say.
What? What do you mean?
Well, you could say it's one of her domains. Suicide, passion. Really, they're two sides of the same coin if you think about it.
I mean, well, there's the things out there that make you rip your eyes out and drown yourself are
Well,
gifts
I'm not
from
sure.
God.
Yes. Her artwork.
I
as
like
Lady
those
Gracia.
gifts. He
Well,
says
I'm
that
not
loud enough for
sure.
everyone to hear.
Well, I'm sure she doesn't mean for them to have such ill effect.
Well, can we go speak with her? I don't know.
Oh, you really want to kill yourself?
Well, I mean, there's only been four of them. There's only been four of them, but still, if they're like,
Well, she says there could be hundreds more.
where?
These are just the ones you know of that you've seen.
Oh,
What a thought.
no, I don't like thinking about that. Stop that.
It's
Well,
truly divine, though. She's been scattering her gifts.
Is this the god that's speaking to you, Cathander?
It could be.
I hope it's not.
That would explain some of the thoughts, but
He's gonna full body turn to you upwards excuse me. I thought you said you never felt the urge to run into a road or drown yourself. You said that before. What does that mean?
oh, well, I suppose wanting to kill oneself is not an uncommon thought for people who are stricken with isolation.
I mean, yeah, but it
But
could
I
just
thought-
be, regular.
Oh, yes, I mean, it could be. Or it could be her. Could really be anybody up there if you think about it.
Oh. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I suppose that doesn't change much for me, because you still have to look at it, or her, or whatever it is, in order for it to hurt you. So I'm well. You
Yes.
might not be.
Oh, I will be.
You took a blindfold?
Of course.
Okay, that's good. And you're not going to take it off at all. You promise. No matter how much you want to.
Do you wish for me to promise?
I would like that, yeah. I don't think anyone's ever killed themselves in front of me specifically before.
I thought
first
that
guy-
man did.
No, he killed himself in front of Alfie.
Ah. I can make a promise that I won't do it right away or willingly.
What?
If my lord is speaking to me, Conleth.
Oh,
You have to understand this is what I've been walking for.
oh my. Between you and the bumpkin, we're gonna get. Oh god.
Oh, you do not have to worry. I will certainly be adept in aiding your cause.
Uh-huh.
I've been fighting since I was a child.
Well, you see, I don't think there is gonna be fighting. Well, this god of yours just leaves them there. We've never encountered anything, at least that we could hear or smell,
Well,
taste.
then what are you worried about?
Well, I didn't know that's where they were coming from.
Oh, well, what does
Now
that
this
change?
is like a big thing, you know?
Well, I suppose
There's
it's just the
implications.
source.
Is somebody mad at
yes.
us now? Should we have not been destroying these?
Oh, no. They're simply gifts of hers.
And most people don't enjoy when you destroy their gifts.
Oh, but I'm sure she clearly has a surplus of them. And I'm sure
I do not want to be
Well-
the victim of divine retribution.
Oh, I'm sure you won't be. You didn't know. I suppose you do now.
Why did you
But-
tell me then?
Well, you asked.
Colin reaches up, grips his hair with both fists, and just pulls "Argh!"
Well, think of it this way, Conleth. Clearly Lady Gracia knew, and perhaps Alphios knew. They have not been punished.
Yet.
At least, yet. But this is their... She says this is her fourth one.
Uh-huh.
So she seems to know what she's doing.
I suppose.
And I'm sure you have faith in your lady.
Uh-huh. I do.
And he will again walking up puts a hand to this dude's back between her shoulders here. I'm sure all will be well.
Oh gods, I hope so.
No.
I'd like to go home.
Oh, I'm sure you will be.
Uh,
It must be nice. You have a home? I sort of thought you were just traveling with these people.
Well, of course I have a home.
Oh.
I have parents and siblings and
Oh, you do?
oh yes, I do.
Huh.
Why is that surprising to you?
Oh, I just
I'm
sort of
only
thought-
19.
Oh, no, I knew you were quite young, but I assumed you were in a similar situation to I. Wandering alone out here.
Why?
Well,
Can you make an insight check?
Yeah. That's gonna be a dirty 20.
He is he went from leeching oh fuck we're gonna die to you think I'm like you? Ah!
He's just oh no, I just thought, well, to be quite honest, I thought perhaps your parents were dead or something.
Why would you think that?
Because who would let their 19-year-old wander around like this?
I'm not wandering. I'm on a mission. You're wandering. You just showed up.
Oh, well, yes, but I know why I'm wandering.
I know why I'm wandering. I'm not wandering. I know why I'm traveling. I know why I'm traveling.
Well, I suppose I'm just shocked that parents would let their child travel to such
Listen, it was either that or that other school they wanted to send me to, and I'm not going there. So I needed to do something with my time.
other school?
He shuts his mouth very quickly.
What other school?
Just school. You know, to learn.
I suppose I've been. He sort of considers, and then he goes. He kind of makes a. I know Conleth can't see, but then he kind of makes a. Fuck it, I've already been nosy tonight. He'll kind of
Fuck it, we ball.
Yeah, kind of lean. I mean, he's already pretty close.
Yeah,
but
you guys are still chest to chest.
No, yeah, but he's speaking a bit he wasn't yes, I suppose whispering before, not whispering, but now he is deliberately trying to I wouldn't presume to put us into more similar of a situation than I had already thought with. But I also have some experience with getting sent to a school.
Uh-huh.
Was it as a well, I suppose as more of a measure to get me out of the house. Is it perhaps like that? Or is it something more sinister?
It's not sinister.
That's good.
Well, I was in schooling to be a cleric, and then I got sick, and I couldn't read the books anymore, so they decided to send me to a special school. But I didn't want to go, so I came here instead.
Hmm.
I don't need their special school. I can make do. I'm making do.
Yes, you are. And I'm starting to suspect that people can't always tell if I'm being genuine or not, but I am. I think you've been making do. From what limited time we've spent together.
Mm-hmm. I can learn on the road. I don't need to go back home. I mean, I want to go back home. I don't like any of this, but I don't need to.
I know the feeling.
What kind of school did you go to?
I suppose it was a normal enough school, but they, well, after I was visited by my messenger, my parents thought it best that I leave the premises for a bit.
Hey Sam,
Yes.
we're gonna be in the cave the whole session?
Unknown.
Okay.
Yeah, I still got some other stuff planned for the cave.
Well, yeah. It was-
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got sidetracked a little bit.
No, I think
Maybe not sidetracked, but
we're moving.
yeah.
But sorry, what was being said?
Cassander was explaining that he got sent, away, TM, after his, messenger to a school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is just kind of like frown at that, like, ooh, okay. Well, at least somebody tried to help this guy. But he's gonna take a step away from you, and he's gonna say, "Well, don't pester Lady Gracia again."
All right.
And good night. He's gonna shuffle on over to his little bed sheets area.
Good night.
Mm-hmm. Alright. So, I believe Clover was awake and wanted to do something.
Hello,
Oh,
that's me.
hi.
Yeah, once everyone seems to be asleep, so I guess you could make a perception check first to start off
Mm-hmm.
to see if she can tell if everyone's asleep. Is that right? So that's a 26. So unless anybody's like purposely faking.
It seems like, I mean, the NPCs seem to be asleep. Conleth is like tossing and turning, so maybe he's awake, but like, he's not like getting up. How about the PCs? Anybody awake, notably?
I think Maurice Marjoram is still a little bit awake, and he's like staring at the sword but isn't moving to use it.
Mm-hmm.
His little sleep sword, Throckmorton.
Okay. So she wouldn't act up until it seemed that everyone was asleep. So if he's not faking being asleep, then she wouldn't take action until it seemed
Yeah,
like he
okay.
was.
So I can probably, yeah. So he goes ahead, taps himself, and then passes out soon after. Sorry about that.
No. I was just because I'm seeing if anyone's like if anyone's trying to be sneaky, I guess. For what, like if anyone's trying to be cautious around the others, like she is, and is like trying to whatever. But okay, so once she would notice that Maurice was still awake, and it would cause her to kind of continue pretending to be asleep herself until it seemed that everyone was asleep, from what she could tell at least. And she would kind of sit up, and she'd kind of hesitate before she winds up reaching into her bag and taking out that book that they found earlier.
Oh. And that's the
and
ancient book of rituals?
Yes, that she
Okay.
had secretly tossed into her bag earlier. Because clearly there's some monster shit going on, and she has some passive knowledge on that kind of thing, so she knows how to go about reading books like this and stuff. So she'd kind of pause for a moment and realize, she kind of realized she shouldn't do it right here just in case someone does wake up. So she'd kind of get up and she'd go to move to another location. She would be trying to be sneaky about it.
Okay. Other
which-
location meaning like outside?
No, but no, she would probably want to stay in the cave because it's
Just like deeper in the cave.
bad outside. Yeah, just moving away just in case someone happens to wake up a little bit, that they wouldn't see her doing what she's doing. So she'd do that, and then she'd kind of settle back, maybe leaning against the wall a little bit. She would have taken her staff with her to maybe try to channel a little magic to make a little bit of light to be able to see a little bit. Do I make a roll for that?
Yeah, make a holy magic check.
Okay. Alright. $14.
Yeah, you can make a little ball of light.
Okay, so she does that, and trying her best to keep herself together, because she knows a little bit of what's in these pages, and it makes her nervous, but she's like, she wants to know what's going on, because she does not feel safe at all. And even though it seemed like Alphaios was telling the truth earlier, she still just does not, she doesn't trust them, she doesn't know what's going on, she's just scared and wants to try to figure out more. So she would go ahead and try to open up the book. And is there like a table of contents she can find, or
There
is she
is
going
not. However, I will tell you
Alright.
mechanically how the book works. So
Yes, please do.
your skills. You have 5 or 6 of them. I forget how many you have. You have 5 of them. So some of them, if they have in the skill table, the big one, you'll see that there's a line called the wretched function. So you can upgrade your skills so that they're significantly more effective, like ridiculously more effective, but it'll come at a cost. So you can upgrade whatever's in, like for abscond, it's upgrade it from 10 feet to 10 HP to 30 HP, but at the cost of your HP growth will be down by 90%. So you get this at the cost of this. So you can use that to go shopping for better skills. Just know it'll fuck your shit up.
In terms of like mechanically trying to upgrade anything, that wasn't really I was more having her try to do look into stuff in terms of what's going on in the story.
Sure. I'm not sure there'll be anything in the book about that, but you're welcome to try.
She can try. Because she doesn't know, so she's just gonna take a look. But I will think about that skills thing that you just mentioned as well. So you were saying like you can so it's like it takes trying to understand what you
So you take, like, for example, Abyssal Zone right here on line 10. In the original it says, as a bonus action, prevent the use of light damage for 20 feet around the user until the end of the phase cycle. If you upgrade it with the book, you will upgrade that to 40 feet. So significantly larger range that no one can use that magic. However, you will immediately be inflicted with necrosis.
Okay.
Like, immediately.
Interesting. Okay, let me hang on. Give me a second to look at
Some of them,
something real
if you
quick.
build your character, you really thread the needle. There's ways to get free shit without having to sacrifice anything. High five,
I'm
Ivor.
taking a. Let me see. I'm taking a look at something quick.
Mhm. If anyone wants to go shopping, you're welcome to pre-shop.
Okay. Well, I guess this one doesn't have anything there. Okay, so that's because if it's blacked out, I assume that just means there's nothing there.
Yeah, there's
Yes.
no upgrade.
Yes. Okay. All right. Let me take more look at what she's doing here. I could take a look at this one just because I'm seeing what skills she has that I might be interested in. That one also doesn't have an upgrade. Okay. There's this one. Right. That one also doesn't have an upgrade. All right, Clover, you're doing great. Go far. You go, girl. Right. Okay, that one does have one. Ooh, and an interesting sacrifice as well. That would be really actually considering the situation of this game, that would be a wild sacrifice. But let me see. So range is a I'm not very familiar. How big of a impact does range have in the practice of things?
Depends on the skill. What skill are you looking at?
I'm look magic bind.
Let's see. Hold on, I'm in the wrong thing. Magic bind. Alright, apply silence to any unit within 10 feet. So yeah, you'd be able to say, shut the fuck up, no magic attacks for you up to 30 feet away, which is usually out of people's magic range. So you can hit them before they can get close to you to attack.
Okay. Alright. Okay, so let me sorry, my tabs are a mess, so I'm like kind of clicking around more than I should be. Okay, and so I guess I'll do this the story bit first before I continue on that, just because that's what I originally was planning to do.
Yeah, you got
but it might not lead to anything going by what you said, but I guess I'll just do it for the sake of her doing the story, you know. So she's gonna try to flip through the pages and see if she can find anything that may possibly, tip her off, be it either to the donkey or Alfio's or just anything she's seen so far. She's going to look for something. So because of the donkey with the ice on the legs, I might look into ice things. Because of the, his eyes, she'll look into eye shit,
Okay, yeah, you can
various
make a scholastics check.
Alright, let's see. Oh my, she fucking rolled a 1 again.
Yeah, you don't find anything of relevance. A lot of grotesque
I
imagery.
am Oh my god, I'm so done with her. Okay.
That's
Okay, so she doesn't find anything story-wise, so
no.
but she would just kind of like okay, so Clover, she is a, innocent girl, but I kind of injected a bit of whatever, never mind, that's a side tangent. But she also has a little bit of a uncontrollable curiosity with things sometimes. That's why she has such a large collection of books. Most of the collection she has is pretty innocent plant stuff, but not all of it is. Some of it is that's why she knows a little more about monsters than you would expect her to. So she would kind of, get this almost sick fascination with the book and kind of continue to flip through the pages a little bit to just, look around a little bit. She wouldn't be happy with what she was seeing, but it's kind of like one of those like you can't look away from a car wreck type of shit.
Yeah.
Like her instinct to learn is like overtaking her impulse to shut the book. And that is where our shopping, quote unquote, is going to come into play.
Okay.
So
somebody takes my bait.
Yes, I am, girl. I am. I want to do more with this girl because she's so simple right now, and I want to make shit interesting. So really, the only thing I think that she had that could be upgraded. Well, yeah, she literally only has one skill that has an upgrade. So I guess we're going with that one.
Okay, just note the wretched sacrifice is mute. You're not going to be able to have her say anything for the rest of the campaign.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Fuck it, we roll. Fucking we
I
ball.
was like, that's why I was like, that sounds really fucking wild, and I'm kind of curious to see how it'd work out because we already have 2 blind guys.
Man,
blind and mute is not a
communicating
good
with those two
combination.
are gonna be difficult.
Exactly, and I'm just like, man, this is gonna be wild. And like, oh fuck, I think it'll be interesting to play with. If a little difficult, but hey, she has a pen and paper. We've
Yeah,
accounted for that.
true.
So,
Yeah, she can
so
still see it, right,
how?
so. All right.
So how is this gonna
So,
happen?
after you decide, you flip to the page that has Magic Bind on it, and you see 2 pictures. One of a guy attempting to do a spell and failing, and like kind of holding his neck, like I can't talk. And then another one of appears to be like a diagram of a person's throat with the vocal cords just removed. They are gone.
Oh whoa.
And then on the
Alright.
other page is in the ancient language, so a script you do not recognize, a whole bunch of presumably instructions telling you what the hell's happening here. And then in the lettering that you understand, like very phonetically spelled out, seems to be some sort of incantation that you could recite.
All right. What kind of role am I gonna make for her to kind of know what she's looking at?
You can make magic check? Just a solid magic check.
Just basic magic?
Yeah.
Okay. Because so it's not dark magic because she has a downgrade in that.
Technically Magic Bind is a holy magic spell.
Okay. So either
You
way,
can
it
make
would
a magic or a holy magic check.
be... Okay, either that would be neutral. She's neutral in holy magic, so she got a 22.
22?
So.
You can kind of piece together what's happening in this picture. This guy is casting shut the fuck up and is shutted the fuck up in return.
Because she would kind of like, you know, because from what she can make out, you said that she can make out like an incantation of some sort. Her mind, like in my brain, so like, you know, even regarding that, the role, as like, she definitely realizes that silence is going on, and she, in my head, she's kind of like trying to piece together in her head what the guy grasping his throat really kind of entails.
Yeah, no
when it
speaking
comes to everything put
whatsoever.
together. Yeah. So, you know, so she's kind of like, and so the incantation, I'm assuming it just kind of needs to be read for it to.
Yeah.
There's no sort of extra
You
bonus
just
thing.
say it out
So,
loud. Sound it out.
So girl might be doing this by accident.
Oh man.
Because I think she's gonna read it to herself, kind of like, because you said it's kind of phonetically spelled, and you know she's knowledgeable enough of magic to know how incantations work, but she doesn't know much about this particular book, and you know some things need to be channeled more directly, you know, and most of the magic she uses, at least in how I imagine it in my head, has to be more directly channeled for it to do anything, you know, like she has to want for that thing to happen. And she's also very sleep deprived and very tired and kind of hungry. So she's not thinking straight. So she's kind of mumbling it to herself when she's trying to kind of sound this thing out.
Okay. So you sound it out. You sound it out, and you notice 2 things happens. Firstly, you feel a little bit more like, ooh, I feel a little bit more like I could, you know, inflict my effects upon people in the distance. Perhaps your power is increased slightly. And you also feel your throat feels weird. And then it hurts a lot for a very brief second, like blinding pain, and then you feel fine. But it feels different.
It feels different.
It feels different.
It feels different in threatening quotations. But yeah, so, you know, she would kind of realize, oh shit, that did something. And she would kind of be a little taken off guard, but then she'd be, you know, she wouldn't be like super overly worried initially, but you know, as she kind of went to, you know, just kind of talk to herself as she does, I would assume that's not a thing that she can do now.
No, nothing comes out, not even a peep. Just breath.
Yeah, so bad. So she'd naturally kind of panic a lot. And she'd kind of like put together what those images were really telling her, and she would be like, well, obviously she's not saying anything. So if it sounds like I'm having her say anything, it's more just her internal
Inner
thoughts,
monologue.
Yes. But she'd be like, oh no, and she'd kind of kind of drop the book away and kind of like scramble away from it a little bit. And the light would kind of no, I'd probably linger there, whatever spell she used to make the light. But and then she'd realize she fucked up real bad. And the thing is, she doesn't even really trust any of these people. So, but her instinct of, she's like, oh, I need to get some, I need to do something, she's like, this is bad, this is bad. You know, she would go to the person she trusts most in this group currently, which would be Isidore, if Annika's around.
I think Annika
Yeah.
just got back.
Hello, Annika.
Hello?
Yeah. So, Clover's gonna bring Isidore into some bullshittery. Because Clover, she's not gonna be fucking gentle this time because she is panicking. She didn't even intend to perform the spell, let alone have anything happen like this. So Isidore, poor girl who has been woken up twice now, would kind of like find herself being like kind of frantically shaken awake.
Like less than a second after the shaking begins, Isidore is completely awake, and Clover finds herself basically like body pinned to one of the like ice pillar things.
And as a detail I forgot. Oh, sorry.
No, say what were you gonna say?
It was just a detail I forgot to mention that she would absolutely have tears coming from her eyes. They'd have happened pretty quickly. She fucked around and found out. Anyways, continue.
Isidore basically like goes from laying down to kind of roll grabbing her and pinning her to the wall with one of her arms. And as she's going to draw her blade, she registers that it's Clover and kind of immediately backs off. And then registers after that oh, something is very wrong.
Yeah, she might have felt Clover trembling as well.
What's going on?
Well, Clover kind of opens her mouth as though to say something, but nothing comes out. And she kind of, it seems like she's very much trying to explain something, and it is just nothing's happening. She's just kind of, she opens her mouth and she kind of grabs her throat a little bit as though she's just not making any sound.
Are you choking?
Clover just kind of like, she just frantically like shakes her head and kind of like, girl's not thinking straight. She'd kind of grab Isidore's cloak a little bit because she's just like kind of just not in an aggressive way, just kind of in a oh my god type of way. Before just kind of like motioning over to the light in a little bit in the distance, and the book that's lying beside it.
It kind of takes a moment for Isidore to register what the book is, and then looks back at Clover and says, "What? Did someone do something? Did you do something?"
Clover just looks at her with this like such a broken look of like I fucked up. Well, and just kind of like, man, she's not okay. She's not okay. She would kind of just be trembling and obviously like at a loss of what to do. She's just grasping at the fabric of Isidore's thing and just trembling and shaking her head and just girly fucked around and she found out real bad. But the she'd obviously be at like she'd just be in panic mode. She'd be breathing real hard.
Would either of us have something to write on? I don't think Isidore would be carrying something to write on.
Clover does in her bag, but whether Isidore knows that is another matter. Actually, Clover probably left it on her bedroll, actually. I don't know if she put her book away after her interaction with Stathis. No, wait, she did, didn't she? I remember he did, yeah. Well, Clover does have a book. She's probably not really thinking clearly enough yet to think to motion to it, though. She's kind of in, world is in static, type of panic mode at this point. Like, the only thing that exists right now is her, and what's going on. But so, to answer your question, Clover does, but whether Isidore knows that, you know. I mean, you could have her ask, I guess.
Just kind of tentatively got her hands on Clover's shoulders. And it's kind of just sunk down to her knees at this point, and is just looking at you, and with this look of concentration, and just like she's racking her brain. How long does it last?
That is an excellent question that Clover doesn't have the answer to. Sam, you said that the only thing she could really read was the incantation, yes?
Yep. The rest was
Yeah,
in ancient.
Yeah, so Clover would just kind of be shaking her head. She obviously can't say anything, but it would seem implied by her frantic behaviors that she does not know. Hello? Hello?
Annika died.
Isidore's just thinking again. And
Oh,
I'm
okay,
thinking as well. I'm doing a big think.
Okay. Sorry, I tend to, like, make noises when I'm thinking, so I...
Mhm. And Isidore pauses again and says, okay, well, we can only hope that something can be done about it, but I don't think there's anything anyone can do here.
That would just kind of get Clover a little more frantic, and just the idea of, like, oh no, just kind of just leaving it until further notice, because she can't fucking talk. I assume this means she can't make any noise at all.
Nope, nothing. From your
Okay,
mouth,
yeah.
at least.
Yeah. Thank you for the details. But yeah, so her panicked mind is definitely kind of just swirling, trying to think of anything she could do. And she just kind of, she just looks at Isidore, and after a moment, she just kind of lets go of Isidore and just kind of runs across the cave, and immediately bothers Alphaios.
Okay, he's snug as a bug in a rug in his little
she's
sleeping bag.
Frantically shaking him like she did with Isidore.
Okay, he's gonna make a perception check. Because he's old and he sleeps like a rock.
Chase sleeps through earthquake.
He got a 6.
Oh my god.
He kind of rolls over, face down.
So he stays
snores
asleep.
a
That's
little.
hilarious.
He snores a little.
That's legit hilarious.
You try again.
Yeah, I mean, she wouldn't stop, so... That's so funny.
Okay. Okay. Alright, he got a natural 20.
Like,
he wakes up.
Oh my god, okay.
He wakes up and he kind of, like, puts himself on his elbows. Clearly confused. What's going on? What happened?
Clover says nothing, obviously. She just kind of sits there. She looks petrified. I don't know if Isidore followed her. Question mark?
Yeah, Isidore has followed her over, and as soon as he's, like, awake, Isidore kind of, like, kneels down really close to his face, and just grabs him by the chin and cheeks.
Okay. Grisped.
Not with the intent to, like, harm, but firmly to demonstrate a sense of dominance in the situation.
Okay.
And she's just gonna, like, look him directly in the face and say, the book that you left behind on the side of the road?
He's gonna try to, like, shake you off, first and foremost.
Kind of let him go.
He'll crawl out of his sleeping bag. He says, what about it?
What is it? What does it do?
Well, it's a magic book. it unlocks power that you might not have had before. Why? Nobody uses it, right? Nobody touched it.
Oh yeah,
Someone-
they were still under the implication that it was left behind.
Yeah, they thought they wrapped it up nice and left it there.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't he didn't even know that they had it.
Nobody took it, right?
It appears that someone in our party was curious about it and chose to take it with her. She was not
Clover
warned.
looked horrifically guilty and just petrified.
She was not warned that this could happen because it is a book.
What happened? Who?
She cannot speak.
Who?
Clover, she cannot speak.
Bro, who you think? Yeah.
Alphias says, "Is Clover here?"
Yes, she's sitting right next to you.
And kind of turns.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
He kind of turns approximately to where Clover might be. Says, "Clover."
She does not respond.
Okay. He's gonna kind of reach out and like poke you in the arm a little bit, confirming you're there. And he's gonna like ask, "Is this true? Did you took the book?"
She opens her mouth to respond. Nothing comes out.
She took the book, okay?
Where's the book now?
Over there.
Clover
Why
kind
is
of flails her arm. Not that he can see
All
her.
right, he's gonna stand there. He doesn't know where over there is.
it doesn't matter where the book is.
It does matter where the book is. The book shouldn't be here.
Well, what does matter right now is that Clover cannot speak, and something needs to be done about it.
I'm terribly sorry, Clover, but there is nothing to be done about it. If you read from the book, that's it.
Clover's not happy. She is not happy at all. No. Yeah, Clover kind of like, upon that knowledge, she's kind of like, the world's kind of spinning around her a bit at this point. She's not, she kind of like grips at the chest of her clothing a bit, as though like, you know, her breathing is definitely, you know, she's kind of hyperventilating at this point. Which I guess kind of makes noise technically, but it's breathing noise, so
Yeah.
she breathes
much-
still.
How much of a fire is left at this
It's
point?
like smoldering. Like it's still going, but it's not very strong.
Alright, is there, like, wood left over or anything?
Yeah, there's a lot of charred wood. You could get it going
All
again
right.
if you wanted to, or you could just.
Also, I want to extend an invite if anybody wants to roll perception and get involved if anyone wants to. If anyone wants to wake up.
You know what? Why not?
Hell yeah.
I think this has probably woken him up a little bit.
Yeah, because I'm like, Clover's not making any noise other than the breathing, but like the at this point the other two are, so.
Yeah, Isidore's voice has been raised. She's clearly, like,
I think
pissed.
Conleth and Sathis will make checks. Conleth doesn't hear
5,
shit.
okay.
Conleth got a 0.
He's oh my god, he's
Sathis
sleeping.
got a 1. The boys are asleep.
They are fucking knocked out. And Maurice?
Yeah, Maurice got a 5.
Okay, the boys are asleep.
Isidore has...
Does Maurice want to try again? Can we do that?
Actually, you know what? I think maybe Turgis would be awake.
Turgis
fuck
can
it.
try. I'll give you that.
Turgis roll!
You gotta use Turgis's sheet though.
Yes, exactly.
Turgis has a sheet.
Turgis has a sheet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dice roller.
Oh no.
Oh, I heard a noise.
Turgis.
Did he roll a nat 20?
Got a crit 1.
Oh.
And that's
my
even
God.
without the modifier being added in. Like if
He got a
Right,
what?
it's negative. He got a nat 1.
Oh, Turgis is so fucking asleep.
But
My
that's
God.
not even adding the mod. Yeah. He's
That's a
Yeah.
crit fail. That's an instant failure.
Oh,
I'm
no.
so sorry. If you get a 1, that's instant failure. Whatever you're trying to do.
Okay.
Yeah, so
well,
it's
Maurice could
just
try again later.
it's just the three of you.
Okay. Okay. Anyway.
Isidore has
Yes.
like marched over to the fire and kind of stirred it up and is attempting to get it going as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something I need to roll for that, or is
Oh,
that
you could
just like
you
something
could just
one
kick
can
it up. It's
do?
wood on fire already. Just kick it around. It'll be more on fire.
And then she goes over to where the book is and picks up the book and marches over to the fire and
Oh
drops it in.
no! Wait, before she does that, as she's marching over, Clover would see her going to, she'd kind of be able to piece together what Isidore was doing when she picked up the book right after starting the fire up. And in her panic, she'd just kind of like, she'd be on her knees by the at the moment, but she would just kind of scramble up and like rush over to Isidore, and probably like right before he puts it in the fire, Clover just kind of like steps in the way and grabs at her at whatever she's wearing that she can grab at, and just like frantically shakes her head, and she kind of opens her mouth again as though to say something, but nothing comes out.
And I think Alphias is also gonna kind of step between you and the fire. Like, he doesn't exactly know what you're doing, but he doesn't like the sounds that are happening, so he's just gonna attempt to body block you. Does
I believe
Oh, no, you go.
I can trust him when he says that there isn't anything that can be done. Okay?
Clover kind of.
I understand. I wish we could help. But the only thing we can do right now, I think, is destroy it and then leave.
You can't destroy it.
Is that Alpha was saying that?
Yeah.
I don't care what you say I can and can't do.
It's not yours. You can't destroy it. I won't let you.
You won't let me.
I won't let you.
And I'll also say, as Alphias was speaking up when Isidore was done speaking, Clover would be just, she'd be frantically shaking her head again and just kind of trying so hard to speak and just kind of, like, not violently, but just kind of, like, pounding a little bit on Isidore's chest, like, in a desperate attempt of just to be like, no, don't do that. Just kind of hanging her head a little bit. As the two argue.
Making a quick roll here. Yeah, that's... Do you have something you could write on?
Isidore's asking that, yes.
Yes.
Clover would kind of like, she'd hesitate a moment, like kind of, coming back to her senses a little bit, and she'd just kind of, she wouldn't actually even really nod. She'd just kind of immediately let go and run over to her bag and start kind of rifling through it and pulling out her book and her pencils. And just she wouldn't run me. Well, the cave is really dark, so I guess she would return to the fire, if it wasn't close enough to begin with. But so she kind of grabbed that and immediately run back over with it in her hands.
Mm-hmm.
Probably stumbling over herself a little bit because it's dark and a cave,
Mm-hmm.
and she's running a lot. I don't know. Do we want to make a check to see if she trips? Would that be fun?
Sure. Make a make an acrobatics check.
Because I'm just considering the situation. All right, let's see. The lower it is, the more likely she is to fall. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Make an acrobatics check. Oh no.
Girl rolled a 1, not a nat 1, a 1.
Okay,
it
you
was a
trip
2
over
and a 1.
Stathis, who wakes up.
Oh my. Can I make a slight question?
Yes.
Because we already have an NPC involved, can she trip over Maurice instead?
Sure. She trips over
Thank
Maurice.
you.
Yeah, Maurice Marjoram startles awake with another like terrified little bird noise and then yells, No, no, Mom, please, don't do it. I'll be good, I swear.
Oh fuck!
Oh my god,
Oh,
he's
fuck
not having a
me,
good time
right.
either. Yeah, so Clover trips over him in her desperate run in kind of the dark, and she falls, kind of just flat on the ground, probably, scraping her knees up a bit. I don't know if we want to take damage for that. But
You know what? Fuck it. I'll have him take damage. This is Maurice.
no, I'm not
Margaret.
saying him. I'm saying Clover. He has armor on. He's fine. I mean, I would assume anyway.
I think you would take a little bit of emotional damage from that.
But and Clover kind of drops the book and the pen in front of her because she just hit the ground and probably banged her arms up a little bit. I mean, she did roll a 1. Would that give her damage? Like, actual question. Or is it
Yeah.
let it slide?
He can take
1
he
point
can
of
take
damage.
5 damage.
5 damage to Clover. That's where do I put that?
In your HP.
Yes, but where?
So you subtract 5 from your HP.
So like
You can stick it into the debuff section. It'll do the math for you.
Mm-hmm. Also under
that?
modifier, if you just want to do the math yourself, I usually.
That's
put
what
it-
I was gonna. Yeah, I was gonna
Whichever
think,
one
like,
works
just
for
a
you.
minus
They're
5.
both.
Because I don't want to
both the same.
forget what her actual HP is.
Mhm.
So I'll just put it in the. Oh wait. Oh, I see what you mean with the debuff. Okay, so
Mhm.
minus 5, or just 5 or minus 5.
-5. -5.
Minus 5. Okay, cool. Cool. All right. So she kind of, I guess, scuffs up her, knees and, elbows a little bit, just getting some little scrapes here and there, because she just fell hard on a fucking rock floor. So she drops the notebook and the pen, but she does not make a noise because she cannot make a noise.
Mm-hmm.
And Maurice can continue. Sorry.
So yeah, Maurice Marjoram is just trembling in place for a bit, just sort of like incoherently mumbling to himself before he finally shocks awake and realizes what's happening. And he looks over at Clover at how obviously distraught Clover is. Would he be able to like tell like something really fucking bad has happened? I'm pretty sure he would.
I
right?
mean, after falling, she wouldn't get up right away, and she'd just kind of be on the ground, seemingly wailing, but no sound is coming out.
Yeah, Maurice Marjoram immediately goes over and like, can I have him make like a medical check maybe to try and like.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
I mean, sure.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how I would go ahead and do that on the sheet. So that would be. What would I be given for medical check? I'm pretty sure.
Just medicine check.
Just medicine. Yep. All right. So then from there, that would be. Ooh, that would be 3. Fuck.
Alas, no info for you.
Yeah, Maurice Marjoram, like he's just very gently. He like lowers his voice. It's all right, Clover. Breathe with me. All right, I'm here. I've got you.
She seems to kind of barely notice him. She just kind of keeps doing whatever she's doing. She might kind of like sit up after at his arrival, but rather than like having, because I was originally, when she was quote unquote wailing, I was imagining her kind of like elbows on the ground type of stuff. But so when he kind of came and tried to comfort her a bit, she might sit up, but that's about all he get out of her. She'd put her face into her hands.
It's all right. It's all right. It's gonna be all right. Deep breaths, okay?
Isidore comes over and kind of gestures outward with the book at Maurice and says, she must have been reading it and something happened.
Maurice Marjoram saw how she was wailing and no words are coming out, and looks over at the book. And it's like it's the moment where you can put together something very bad has happened. And he turns over to Clover once again. All right. Now, I don't know what's happened, but I'm here for you. We're here for you. Okay?
I mean, she doesn't respond, but but the comfort seems to do little. Like she's kind of starting to. She kind of grips her hair a little bit out of just upsettedness.
Mhm.
And she's girl's not coping well, but she's obviously trying to steady her breathing at the very least with Maurice's guidance. So she's at least not hyperventilating quite as much at this point. Oh.
So like after a second of like breathing or so, like Maurice Marjoram is like, all right, now. He looks over to Isidore. you you spoke with Alphios about this.
Alphios is right there.
Alphios,
But this
okay,
is
so
Maurice.
yes,
Yeah, it
Alphios.
stands.
He looks over at
I say
Alphios.
lovingly.
Yep, and then looks back at Clover, and he finally shakes his head and goes, I don't know what to do fully in this situation. I don't think anyone knows what to do, but for now, can we have a little paper and some, like he does a little scribbling motion for Clover.
He can do a perception check to see if he notices it on the ground.
Yeah, I'm gonna have him do a perception check.
Because it's pretty dark, but
Why am I rolling so low?
Oh no.
that is my mood for today, man. I rolled like 3 nat 1, 2 or 3.
Why is it 7? Please.
I mean, it's not a very hard thing to notice, but that's Sam's call.
It's right in front of you. It's fine.
Okay, so
There
yeah,
you
he would go ahead and he would get the little paper. He would get, like the little thing to write with, and he would like gently, very gently, he would place them into Clover's hands. Like you can tell that he's definitely got a lot more of a kind bedside manner to him. Like the kind you would see in like a trained doctor than you would expect from him.
Good veins. Clover's hands would still be trembling when he handed it over to her, but she'd kind of take a moment and stare down at it, just trying to keep her breathing as steady as she can. She's definitely feeling nauseous as well at this point, but she's not, but she'd kind of like grip the pencil for a little bit, and after a minute, she kind of flip the hello time but she'd kind of flip the book open to a blank page, and her handwriting would be pretty atrocious, right, considering the situation and her panic and stuff, but it's definitely legible. She has very nice handwriting generally. And it would just be a very shaky writing of it was an accident.
It was an accident. You didn't know. All right.
No reason to get destructive.
He looks
that-
over it. Does Isidore still have the book? Like the big book, the book that's
No one picked oh yes, she did pick it up.
Yeah,
Isidore does have it.
she's holding it.
Yes.
Maurice like holds out his hand and says, "Could I see what was in that book?"
That might not be the best idea.
I
As long as we don't
begrudgingly
read it-
agree.
As long as we don't read it aloud, but all right, he says.
And upon them talking about the book again, Clover kind of in her desperation, she would kind of stand up finally, and her knees are a little bit banged up, but she's fine. And she stands up and kind of frantically goes to try to grab the book.
Well, Alphios can't see you, but he hears somebody.
Oh,
moving.
I just
Otherwise, he would stop you if he could see you.
no. Well, Isidore's the one holding it.
Yeah, I know. Isidore, what are you doing about that? Also, at this point, I think there's enough scuffling going on. Cassandra, Conleth, and Stathis can make another perception check.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
sure.
There's
Yeah,
there's a
he got,
scuffling.
he got like a 24.
Yeah,
Um,
you're awake.
so-
You awaken to the scene. Conlet's got a 15. He's awake, but he like doesn't want to get up. So he's like, oh, he's awake, quote unquote.
Cassandra
Stathis
sits
is not
up.
awake.
Cassandra sits up.
Stathis still
sitting
Lister.
next to Conleth, and he sort of just kind of eyes the scene.
Mm-hmm.
I told you all that book was a bad idea. I
Clover
said it was
kinda-
bad luck.
She kind of jolts upon hearing his voice and just kind of looks at him with this like, God, I don't even know how to describe the expression on her face. It kind of be this like mixture of like, you know, obviously the panic, but there would, I don't even know how to word it. This is one of those things where it's like, if I was doing a typed version, I would just draw it. But I can't do that right now.
He's gonna make an insight check on Clover.
The
I almost want to say there's some anger in her eyes, but I don't know why there is. I cannot.
I mean, I would be pissed off.
He got
She's doing
he
this.
got
Why?
he got a 22. I assume he can get the vibes that somebody may have read from the book. 22.
Let's say so. Let's say so.
Isidore's response to Cassandra's comment about the book is to wheel to face him.
Wait, one first. I assume she held the book away from Clover when she tried to grab it.
Oh right, she tried to take the book.
Yeah.
I think she would let her take it.
Oh, surprising. Okay. All right. So Clover's kind of grasping the book at her chest, and then you can continue. Sorry.
Isidore kind of turns on her heel to look at Cassandra, and then gives him this like intense glare, and just says, "Will you please refrain from commenting?"
What? I left it there for a reason.
Clover kind of opens her mouth as though to speak, but once again, nothing comes out.
If I had realized she had taken it, I would have advised otherwise.
Clover kind of like, her eyes kind of like, her expression kind of starts to shift a bit more. Like, you know, there's still all the panic and stuff, but just kind of like all of that stress and distrust that she has had in the group at large. Well, except for a few people. But like, you know, the distrust she's had in most of them, half of them actually, come to think of it, like exactly half of them, would just kind of really bear its face on her face. Just as she kind of like looks at him with this like, just this kind of like, God, fucking words, man.
Take your time.
There's almost a kind of disgust in her, but it's for lack of a better word. Like, she just does. She's looking at him like she just is not.
Well, I would have told you what it would do if you had told me you were going to use it.
But and then she'd look at Alphios, who cannot tell that she is looking at him. But and there'd kind of still just be this like, even more than a Cassandra, there'd just be like this really intense look of like distrust that she at least tried to like kind of like mild it out before when she was that's gone now. She's just looking at him with like this like extreme distrust as to why they had this book in the first place.
Blame him. You're the one who went around reading strange tomes.
Oh God, Cassandra, I love him.
He's just kind of, again, staring. Again, he's not quite frowning or anything. He's just kind of looking at you with like a, I know you people think I'm crazy, but what did you think was going to happen? There's a reason I put that book back in the snow.
Does he say that?
Yeah, no, that's what he's been saying. He already told you that. There's a reason he put the book down. The book had bad vibes. He would have.
Vibe check.
He tried
bad.
He tried to
Well,
say
Clover-
that, but he tried
Clover
to.
can respond, but one of the other two can, if they want to.
I thought I made that clear when we first uncovered it, Miss Clover.
That
Okay.
book was intended to stay out of the reach of people who did not know how to use it.
All right,
Heck.
both of you, if I hear a single word from either of you until I tell you you can speak, there will be consequences. Do you understand?
Are
I was
you
just gonna make a
threatening
face
us?
like, oh fuck, she's threatening us.
I do not understand where your hatred is coming from right now. It seems our friend here made a mistake.
Maurice Marjoram starts crying.
Oh no! Freeze!
It's like the whole vibes of the room are extremely bad, and he feels really sad that he couldn't help Clover. And then it's like, everybody's arguing. He just starts crying. It's like all he can do.
Sandra's just sitting there like, we're arguing? Is that what this is? I'm in my little bedroll. He still hasn't gotten up or anything. He's just
Question,
sitting there.
Conleth is pretty nearby Cassandra, right?
Yeah,
Is he-
they're right next to
Monlith
each
is
other.
still like mumbling his way back to the world of the living. He like does not really understand what's going on.
Yeah, because I know he was like
partially.
partially awake, so I was checking in on.
Yeah,
Sandra
he's
was
like more awake now. He's like, what's going on?
Cassandra would like lean over and like kind of like grab his arm, like leaning in. Clover, I read from the scary book and something went wrong.
What scary book?
The book that you all left there, the rituals.
Why would she do that?
I don't know. I've left it there. I didn't realize she'd taken it, but
Apparently she's read from it and now she's reaped a consequence.
Oh, she didn't turn into a dragon, did she?
no, it seems she just cannot speak.
Okay, that's fine. And then he rolls over.
Mhm. Good night.
Oh
Bro
no!
could not give a shit. Beautiful. But Clover kind of once again kind of opens her mouth to speak, but nothing comes out. And she's starting to look very angry at the fact that she cannot speak. like she's not looking angry at anybody in particular this time. She's just very clearly frustrated and kind of like grabs at the collar of her clothing and just kind of opens her mouth again as though she's trying to yell and nothing comes out.
So, Miss Clover, if I may for a moment here. He's not getting up or anything. You are a magic user, right? Simply nod or shake your head.
Her eyes kind of go wide and she just looks at him
You cast
angrily.
spells. Correct? I haven't seen you do anything. We've only just met. But you cast spells?
She just stares at him.
Well,
She's in anger, but
may I ask how you intend to do that? Without a voice?
yeah, she's not thrilled. She just adds to her panic.
Does
He just
anybody
adds-
have... Do you have any physical implements on you?
She probably left her staff over where the book was when Isidore got it, so
That's
unless
not a
Isidore picked it
physical
up,
implement. That's not a. They're all.
Is that not what the
everything?
physical
Everything in
implement-
your inventory is magical. You have to find a new weapon.
oh, that's what you
Well-
meant by physical. Okay, I
Yeah.
thought you meant like I thought he was asking like, do you have a
Nah,
thing?
I hate this.
Basically, I didn't know what that meant. Sorry.
Well, how on
Um,
earth are you
I mean,
supposed
she
to
could
help
whack.
destroy the Untitled now?
We
He's
can
going to-
acquire her a borrowed weapon. I'm sure.
I have a
Miss
knife on
Clover-
my person.
Miss Clover, I'm quite sorry that this happened, but I really do question what your thought process was reading from a book that doesn't belong to you. That isn't even supposed to be here.
Clover once again opens her mouth to speak, and at this point in her irritation of nothing coming out, she kind of scrambles to grab the book again. And she just kind of, she starts kind of furiously writing in it. And
The Ancient Book of Rituals or Clover's book?
oh, Clover has a journal.
Okay, I was like,
She's
Well,
vandalizing that shit!
God, I fucking wish. No, she has. They jot her sketchbook that they're.
No, yeah. I was just
Yeah.
making. I was
Yeah.
making clear.
Yeah. She'd kind of furiously scribble. Well, actually, before she scribbles, she kind of like, kind of once again like, kind of she's not on the ground, so she can't really pound on the page, but like she would do the equivalent of that to the thing that she wrote about it being an accident before kind of turning the page, and then she starts to kind of furiously scribble, and it just says, "I just wanted to know what was going on."
So you read a spell out loud?
I was just gonna like pinch the bridge of his nose a little bit.
I know. We looked through that book together, Miss Clover. Those images upset you, I thought. Honestly, I suppose I'm just trying to understand what would compel you to do such a thing. You've seemed quite squeamish up until now.
Clover doesn't even really have an answer for that, because that was just like that innate curiosity that she has deep within her soul.
It's just like, dude, you read the scary book. What'd you think was gonna happen?
Yeah,
It's like,
and
I'm diagnosed crazy, and I could have told you that.
and she's just like so irritated because she's like, she didn't even mean to recite the spell. She was just trying to she was just mumbling because she's tired.
I think,
But she can't say that.
I think we should return the book to its owners, and everybody should just go lie down. Sleep on it.
I agree. Matthias holds his hand out for the book.
Clover kind of is gripping it to her chest, just looking petrified and very defensive.
If it makes you feel any better, they can't force those rituals on you. You have to inflict them on yourself. The book is harmless unless you read it.
This book wasn't supposed to be read by anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Do
no harm.
Isidore or Maurice want a word?
This is the kind of bullshit that drives fucking wizards. A book that no one's supposed to read, that's what books are for.
Honestly,
sorry,
you're so
that's
right.
like the funniest thing I've heard all day.
You are so fucking
books are
right, Isidore. I
for.
love you. Thank you for reading.
I would argue they're more for the storage of information necessarily than the reading of them. If
I
you're not
thought
qualified.
I told you that you needed to shut up.
And
You
I
seem
thought
to
I
continue to speak.
I thought I made it very clear I was intent on ignoring that. I will continue to do
Such
so.
hostility, Isidore.
Maurice Marjoram finally gets the message that he is alone in his sorrow, and is sort of like forcing himself to come back down, crying Jag. Like, sort of just looking around at everything, looking over at Clover, looking over at Alfio. Like, he's silent. He's silent. He doesn't even know what to say. He's just
Mom and Dad are fighting.
Yeah, Mom and Dad are fighting. He's just coming down from his crying.
What is the point of any of us being out here?
Clover kind of she
Clover,
grips the book tighter.
you were looking for someone.
She just you can see the exact moment in her eyes when her heart breaks. as that topic is brought
But
up.
he can't be there. Because if he was there, then he would be dead.
Oh, Isidore, why would you see that?
But there's so much
Isidore
more
with a steel chair.
world that he could be, correct? So there's no point in going there.
Clover would just be so visibly distraught. Like all of that like distrust and anger that was in her eyes is just gone. She is just a broken woman now. She just grips the book tighter for a moment before just kind of crumpling to the ground.
Oh, hold on, we're having a Twitch streaming issue.
Oh,
What do you mean the
yeah.
audio's repeating? What does that mean? Like an echo?
My phone died, so I haven't been watching the stream.
Is that like an echo? Hold on. I'm waiting for...
Let me ask him. In web fishing.
Yeah, a bit of an echo. Okay, hold
I
on. Let
see.
me unplug and replug my headphones in. Who's echoing? Who's echoing?
Would it be
Everyone. Weird as fuck. Alright, everyone stay silent for a minute. I'm gonna open up Twitch. Not Twitter. Twitch. Has it been doing that for a while?
Yeah, he's actually.
No, I don't want to hear someone else's Twitch. Shut the fuck.
Yeah, he's
Rand.
actually-
No, I don't want to hear someone else's Twitch. Oh, shut the fuck. Hold on, we're getting double dipping. Yeah, hold on. Ba 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 ba. Hold on, we're getting.
Okay,
Shut.
Trichism might just
Shut.
be.
Ba 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 ba.
Okay,
Shut.
Trichism might just
Shut.
be.
Okay, it's not happening on my stream, so I think that means Trikey is just having computer technical difficulties.
Mhm.
All right, you scared me for a second. Anyways,
Eh.
we can jump back in. Sorry.
Mhm.
Thank you for the update, Trikey, though. Appreciate it.
To all of this, like the why are we out here, etc., Cassandra just sort of tilts his head and goes, well, if you mean why we're out here specifically with this group of men, I don't believe we were meant to be. We just sort of walked into each other on the road.
Unless you
Perhaps.
believe in divine providence, then
Which I must. Mhm.
there's simply no reason other than chance. We have a mission here. It's you who don't belong on this road. So I don't understand why you're so upset with us.
I love how
Listen.
Clover has just started this fucking like infighting between everybody.
You know, Cassandra's just nodding like, yeah, no, he's cooking.
Listen, it's your book that did this. It's your little cult or whatever this is that, for all we know, it's your fault that the town disappeared in the first place. There's
No, it's not. It's God's.
This fighting won't help anyone! Maurice Marjoram raises his voice for the first time, and it's like he sounds like way more mature than he usually does, which is a
Clover
kind of-
flinches when he
That
raises his voice.
Finally wakes Stathis up.
I'm
About
sorry.
fucking time, bro. Love the dumbass man. Great.
This-
Not Maurice, Stathis.
Mhm.
This group had nothing to do with the people of Siren's Rock. That would be Ice Dancer.
I certainly don't
Just-
know anyone from
uh,
Siren's Rock.
Just to
Wait, did-
clarify that.
Cassandra
It's-
just said Ice Dancer?
Mhm.
Cassandra just said Ice Dancer, saying God did this, and he has a name
Yeah.
for this god.
who the hell?
Nice.
What the hell are you talking about?
Ice Dancer, she's a god. She's been leaving gifts. This is one of her gifts.
Sorry, I earlier I like checked out a little bit. I got distracted by something. Wait, that's in the fucking that name's in the one of the things. Which one?
What?
Ice
The
Dancer?
Ice Dancer. Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's in the creature manual.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
no, it's not just Trikey who's having the repeating stream issue. It's other people as well.
Oh, well, my stream had an echo because I was playing the stream and you guys at the same time. That was probably it for other people. But I checked the stream.
I don't know if Ice Dancer is in there by like name.
Okay.
But
Well, I
Cassandra
guess
can
another
elaborate.
question would be: so Ice Dancer is a known, possibly known thing? Question mark.
I
Like it's
think,
not.
You'd have to make a history check.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I was about to. I was like, is it worth making one, or would she just not know what it is?
You're
it,
welcome
like,
to
it's-
try. I'm gonna say for you the DC is gonna be higher because you don't have the
Yeah.
same like lifestyle.
Yeah. I mean, she rolled pretty low anyway. I don't think that's gonna be. My rolls today have been so bull. Yeah, no, she got a 13. Nothing's happening
Okay,
here.
yeah, you don't know off the top of your head who Ice Dancer is.
Yeah, I
Cassandra,
mean, she's
look-
not really in the state to remember right now, anyway.
Yeah, well, Cassandra looks at you and sees your confused face. Would you like me to explain?
Hold on right there. Wait, that's the perfect place to stop for the night. We'll pick
Oh,
up
wow.
next week with an
Alright.
explanation as to who Ice Dancer is according to Cassandra.
Oh
guys-
boy.
Alright.
Where's
This
an
speaks to
intense scene, cliffhanger. All right, everyone, go update your supports, and then I will show them on the screen.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank
sure a
you.
lot has happened in the supports world.
Quite a bit.
Oh,
No,
my
he
word.
doesn't. He doesn't dislike Clover. He just thinks you're a little bit of a stupid.
She didn't mean to.
Yeah, he knows, but he's like, oh, girl.
They're only at D because F means that they're physically fighting.
Mm-hmm. Well, F can also mean like I would hurt you. If not for the laws of this land, I would kick your ass.
Well, I guess Clover's not violent, so I'll still leave that.
Yeah. You can totally make things F without actually being obligated to fist fight them.
What color is F? Is it also
It's
orange?
red. It's red.
It's red.
Alright. Put this on the screen. Oh, we got some drama happening.
Yeah,
Aw,
Cassandra's
I love all the
sitting there
D's that are the D's and A's that are suddenly showing up.
Yep.
Cassandra's like, you're all being very stupid right now, I think. This is dumb. Why are you yelling at the nice holy men? You read their
I'm
scary
also
book.
thinking like I didn't put enough emphasis, I think, on the sleep issue with Clover as to part of why she was mumbling it out loud. Because in my head, I was
got it.
I mentioned it because I'm like, because she probably hasn't slept much since she started her travels, considering she's not used to traveling. So
I
she's
feel-
sleep deprived, not just from this
And
travel.
this
like
is a
she's,
world
she's-
in which
yeah.
magic doesn't necessarily need intent behind it to cast. If you say the magic
Exactly.
words, magic will happen to you.
Yeah. So she
Right.
was probably like looking at that book half asleep and just mumbling it and
taking a quick look at Clover's sheet. How much of her build is disabled now, Sam?
yeah, a lot.
Let me take a
I
look
think.
at it.
From no magic.
We're
See,
gonna have to take
I,
a little bit of a look-see. Hold on.
See, I think the thing here is that this was also inexperience on my part. Because
Being mute makes you unable to do magic because it's being perma-silenced.
Yeah,
You're
and
not
that
gonna
was
be able to
me,
use
like-
any of your staves.
Alright.
As far as
I know-
hold on.
The
Honestly,
power
as
is a
As
plant
far
her
as
bag.
the skills go, I'll let you keep all your skills because it's all like I'm imagining most of them are like
Physical, anyway.
physical and also magic bind. That's
Yeah.
the one you. That's how you got mute. So it would
upgraded, yes.
be useless if you.
Which actually I
weren't able
should
to use it.
update that now,
Yes,
shouldn't
please
I?
update it and make it say wretched
That's
magic
30.
bind. But yeah, you're just gonna have to find
Okay.
new weapons.
Yeah, because well, she was mostly based on status anyway.
Mhm.
Attacking wasn't really gonna be a focus for her. She was really gonna focus more on helping the others attack. So I'm not too worried about it, to be honest, even though I forgot that about that going in.
If you do want a weapon, though, Klee, if you want, you could probably ask for Cassandra's knife. Like, if you wanted, like, you could, if you
In
want to
writing.
hand your staffs over to Cassander so that they get used, and you want his knife, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Maurice
'cause,
hates
like,
himself. Sorry, I just glanced over.
Yeah, because and also like a lot of her magic here is
Yeah,
so the skills she can keep.
Yes, keep all
so,
of them. It's
so
fine.
what? It's not an incantation. Like she doesn't have to use her voice for them. I guess.
I'm gonna say you're doing like a plant-based character, so no. You can
Yeah,
do, like,
because
potions
a
and
lot
shit.
of them. Yeah. Because especially the petal burst specifically, we talked about it being a plant in her bag.
So you're good. You're good. So just you're not gonna be
Which
able
is
to
what
use
I
any
would
of
have
the
upgraded
staves.
if it was available.
Yeah. Well, there's no way to upgrade it. There's no numerical thing to upgrade.
Alas.
Alas.
Well, you could just make it more interesting.
If I did that for every skill in this fucking game, I would be here.
Yeah, I
until
know.
90
I
and it
know.
would never
That's.
release.
I know. I'm being. But yeah. So yeah, like her staves are all like pointless now.
Well, you
other
can
than,
hand
I
them
guess,
off to
like-
other people, and other people can use them.
Yeah, useless to her. Yeah. And yeah. So also the ancient book of ritual still exists. So that's just.
Yep.
It's still in her
Still in your
inventory,
inventory.
for now, because she's still the one holding it. So let's just leave it there for now.
Correct.
She didn't hand it back as of yet.
Man.
Okay, so her skills are all still good to go, which is really one of the main focuses for her anyway, is
Yes.
her skills. The staves I honestly kind of tossed on her, like, I don't fucking know, take these ones.
Isn't,
Like,
isn't
so, yeah,
that stuff that can all be talked out outside of stream though?
Yeah. We
things
can,
still going? Oh, I don't know.
It's almost 10 p.m. So, thank you guys so much for coming. I hope you had a good time. The epic highs and lows. We're still in the cave, but that's okay. I do have more things planned in the cave, so sorry if you were excited about getting out of the cave. Don't worry. I hope it'll be worth your while. And then hopefully next week we'll start some combat. Let's see. Whoa, no, don't change my language. What's next week? The 20th? I should be here. In fact, I don't think I'll have work that day because isn't it Martin Luther King Day? Or something,
Maybe.
a guy's day? A day
I
based
think
on a
so,
guy?
yeah.
Okay. So I don't think I'll be at work that day. So, yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
be here to
Excellent.
poorly explain the ice guy.
Excellent. That's where we'll leave off.
And I will
Okay,
be-
thank you so much for coming. I hope you
Bye,
all have an
streamers.
excellent night.
Or watchers.
I said excellent night.
Bye-bye.
Excellent night.